easy to say something when ain't nobody that'll scrutinize what you're saying. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahuah HaMashiach today. And pick us up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they will testify me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise of Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahuah HaMashiach. Shalom, earned it, man. Peace, brother, on my man. Shalom, Mika, man. 2 Chronicles 30 and 7. 2 Chronicles 30 and 7.
And be not you like your fathers and like your brethren, which trespass against Yahuah Alahym of their fathers, who therefore gave them up to desolation, as you see.
Shalom, brother Marco.
Now be you not stiff-necked as your fathers were, but give yourselves unto Yahuah.
Yep.
Enter into a sanctuary, which you have sanctified forever.
Yep.
Serve Yahuah your Alahym, that the fierceness of his wrath may turn away from you.
Yep. You heard it.
You turn again unto Yahuah, your brethren and your children shall find compassion before them.
Look. You heard it, sir?
Yeah, he said he did, sir.
That lead them captive, so that they shall come again into this land. For Yahuah your Alahym is gracious and merciful.
That's right.
He will not turn away his face from you if you return unto him.
Come on to Exodus 34:5, man.
And Yahuah descended in a cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of Yahuah. Yahuah passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahuah Alahym, merciful and gracious,
right.
long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth.
Goodness and truth.
Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity, transgression, and sin, and thou by no means clear the guilty.
By no means.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, upon the children's children, unto the third and to the fourth.
That's right. Hold on. Where do we need to go now? 1 Corinthians 13 and 1, I suppose, just for reading purposes. What's going on, baby? Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, remember, y'all, we'll be starting shortly after 11 o'clock. You know, had to have some stuff going on, had to be switched. The time frame had to be switched. So we'll be starting shortly after 11 o'clock. Go ahead.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of Malachim and have not love, I'm become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
Mm-hmm.
And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, though I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains and have not love, I am nothing.
Nothing.
And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, though I give my body to be burned and have not love, it profit me nothing.
It profit me nothing.
Love suffer long and is kind. Love envy not. Love vaunt not itself. It's not puffed up. It's not behave itself unseemly. Seek not our own. It's not easily provoked. Think no evil. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth.
In the truth. Now, we needed to hit something in Songs of Solomon. We'll work some stuff in, man. I wanted to finish what we had in Proverbs 21. Got some stuff in Ruth. You know what I'm saying? We was having a conversation yesterday, man. You know what I'm saying? Just the aspect of, you know, most people, when they talk about the internet. I'm not talking about the internet. So let me just clarify this here, right? But you'll hear people, whether Christian or Hebrew, that talk about, you know what I'm saying? We need to love more. This, that, there, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of that stuff starts in the framework of being in the people who you fellowship with face to face. You know what I'm saying? We was reading a particular passage, and I was enumerating something that we have discussed a few weeks back. You know what I'm saying? Just the aspect of how, because I'm telling you, I can't speak from a woman's point of view when it comes to this. But I can tell you, like, you know, it's a lot of people out here, boy, they going through some things, you hear me? Like, for real, for real. And I was like, you know, most men, they get dehumanized. You don't get to be seen in the fullness of your humanity. Now, some people will be like, oh, well, that's the way that y'all made it. But you'd have to sit back and look at it. I like the way that boy Trip Fontaine put it. As far as being a quote-unquote black man in the United States of America, I did not put together any type of system of any sort. I could only subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I did not formulate the societal norms, mechanisms, or anything of the sort dwelling in this particular society. So the thought process of nobody really caring about what you're dealing with as a man, so on and so forth, I ain't come up with that. But the reality of the situation is most men will tell you that they know that in general, they perceive that nobody cares. You know what I'm talking about? Now, and the aspect of being in the word, it ain't supposed to be that way. Now, see, this is a nuance, it ain't even nuance. It's just two sides of the same coin. See, it's one thing if a nigga is complaining about a situation that he has control over where he can change the outcome of his circumstances. Don't nobody want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? But when you in the aspect of a man and you really like dealing with things, man, like we were saying, like they said, nah, my nigga, don't go through that by yourself, nigga. Call me. You know what I'm saying? And it be the thing. I think dudes know that, but you got to say that out loud sometimes to your peoples, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, like, man, you got little boys out here, they done been molested, they done been beat on, their mama did them bad, their daddy did them bad. You know what I'm saying? They done seen some things they ought not to have seen. And then you thinking that, oh, now he coming to word, he should be a fully functional individual because you threw some precepts at him. Or niggas be in the word, you read 1 Corinthians 12, he say if one mourn, everybody should mourn with him. But the conversation was drifting in individuals saying, oh, you need to get some therapy, you need to do this. Don't nobody want to be, you want to push it off on somebody else. I don't want to deal with it. Now I'm going to mention something. Isaiah 46:1.
They'll bow down, Nebo stoop. Their idols are upon the beasts and upon the cattle. Your carriages are heavy loaden. They are a burden to the weary beast.
Yep.
They stoop, they bow down together. They cannot deliver the burden, but themselves.
They couldn't do what?
Deliver the burden, but themselves are going into captivity. Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Yasharal, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb.
What up?
And even to your old age, I am he.
I am who?
I am he.
What he gonna do?
And even to the hoar hairs will I carry you.
He gonna do what?
Carry you.
Even to when you gray hair, I'm gonna carry you. Listen.
I have made and I will bear. Even I will carry and will deliver you.
He'll do what?
Carry and deliver you.
Now listen, I mentioned this here because, and we're gonna get to something in an epistle letter in a moment, because we're just having conversations about Paul's letters. Now, see, this is something that, and I meant to do this stuff because when we had this stuff like on the textual criticism type of deal, you know, a lot of people, hold on, also as well, if you get therapy, that doesn't make your faith any less, but seek the word for us, but some people would, and that's unfortunate that people demonize brothers and sisters in the faith who want to seek therapy. It's not that big of a deal to me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you need to be able to deal, because everybody think just throwing precepts at people is going to get the job done. Sending somebody 10 verses to read is not going to get the job done. Because if you pay attention to how Mashiach rolled, he wasn't throwing verses at people. Shalom, Sister Gina. He was actively involved. You understand what I'm telling you? And that's different. And being actively involved for everybody is going to look different for each individual. You know what I'm saying? But it shouldn't be a situation and circumstance where an individual feels that they have to carry a burden alone. And niggas sitting right there looking at them in the face every week, 2-3 times a week, once a week. That's inexcusable. Say I go to therapy 2 more classes to finish my psych degree. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, you want to help others. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what I'm referring to. Because I told you before, that isolation gonna lead to your damnation. Because if you're not spiritually strong and you feel like I'm going through some things, I'm gonna isolate myself, man, Satan gonna whoop your behind, man. You know what I'm saying? He gonna whoop your behind. Like when you turn around and you see Mashiach fasting for 40 days, and then he go to get tempted of the devil, he had a level of faith and spiritual strength that the average person in 2026 probably don't have. I ain't saying that people don't have it. I'm not saying that you can't have it. I'm saying in general, on average, most people don't have it. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to go head up with pain, trauma, the adversary, in the world, dolo. Because I know everybody say, I'm going to take the Lord with me. And you should. But we read it Wednesday, 2 is better than 1. Because if he fall, who going to pick him up? And if he cold, who going to give him heat? This thought process of I got to do it by myself could get you caught out there, man, and you be down bad. You know what I'm saying? and you'll be down bad. And or wanting to attach to people who you know are spiritually at the same point or weaker than you. That means that there can be no strengthening that you're going to get from that. Give me Romans 15:1. Now, this is dealing with the advent of love. And I was mentioning this here because what I was going to mention is, you know, a lot of people have a problem with Paul's epistle letters. And a lot of people also have problems when people challenge their belief. People respond in a very, very negative fashion. Like, okay, we were just having this conversation before I came over about Abraham willing to sacrifice Isaac. And the individual will say, well, how would you morally look at that? Or how would you emotionally look at that? I don't look at it like nothing because I have no emotions tied to it whatsoever. You know why? Because I see it simply for what it is. A promise was made to a man by a particular deity. He trusted and believed in that deity to fulfill said promise. He made a decision based off of that. So they say, well, what if he says no? What's the consequence? I can't tell you what the consequence is other than, okay, you're not going to get what I promised you. Shalom, Brother Rob. That's the only thing I can come up with. You know what I'm saying? Well, some people are like, well, how do you think Abraham felt? I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm not even finna try to answer that because I would have to dig that man up to ask him that. You know what I'm saying? But I also look at it from this standpoint, from a natural human perspective, I can see where that would be troubling for some people. Like straight up down. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Also, even when Muhammad asking, like, okay, if we see God as loving and you see his pain, murder, and assault on people happening in the earth, and he doesn't intervene, can we really say that he's loving? From a natural perspective, you have to understand that that's a valid question. You shouldn't even be offended by that. But most people in the world are going to be offended by that because it's a part of them that's going to be challenged that they don't want to deal with instead of understanding this, which something I done told you before. You don't read anywhere in the text where he said he would intervene in this capacity. You don't read that nowhere. So therefore, I can't say that he's not loving because he never professed that if a woman is getting assaulted, if a man is about to be murdered, I'm going to stop it. I know in the minds of most people, you're going to look at it from a natural perspective. If I see something happening to somebody and I got the power to stop it, what you going to do, Steve? I'm going to stop it. So you perceive, okay, God should do that too. But he never said that he would. You know what I'm saying? And there's instances where he didn't stop Cain from killing Abel. He could have stopped that. He didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, he could have stopped them selling Joseph. He could have stopped a lot of things. He never said that he would. So since that he never said that he would, I can't say that he's not loving because he never professed that he would. But if he said he would and then didn't do it, then it would be fair to say, okay, he's not loving because the love that he said he would do, he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be able to hear these things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I ain't even going to call it a superhero complex, which is fair because it is, I want to be saved. But that's what you think he's supposed to do. But also because our idea of God is an idea that we've created in our mind based off of our own human limitations versus who he has professed and declared who he is and how he operates. And you have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to look at it how you think they should look at it. And you can't get offended when that idea is brought to your doorstep. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a fair conversation because it troubles a lot of people. It bothers a lot of people. Why would he send 42 she-bears, shalom, man, to kill these children, these young men? Why would he ask him to sacrifice his own? Why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? There's people who wrestle with that. And you can't be mad at them because they do. You have to have the ability to have the understanding and the care and compassion to impart that and be cool if they're like, nah, this don't work for me. I don't want to serve that God. And be like, all right, cool, they don't serve me. You know what I'm saying? But come on, man. Give me Romans 15:1 off that Isaiah 46, man.
We then that are strong are to bear the infirmities of the weak and not to please ourselves.
And not to please ourselves.
That every one of us please his neighbor for his good edification.
That's right.
Even a Mashak pleased not himself, but as it is written, the reproaches of them that reproach you fell on me.
That's right.
For whatsoever things are written aforetime.
They were written for what?
Our learning.
That what?
We through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Okay, now cool. Now he just said those that are strong ought to support the weak. Now obviously Yahuah is the strongest of the strong. That's why he say to your hoar hairs, to your gray hairs, I will carry you and I will bear you. Now, of course, we know Hamashiach walking through and he carrying that stake. What does that stake represent? That's carrying the burdens of man, all your weariness. That's why I say, all you that are weary and heavy laden, come unto me and I'll give you rest. That's why I say, if you're weary, then you'll be strong. But now let's go to Galatians 6:1. Because some people will take this Galatians 6:1 and mix 2 points together. There's 2 things that Paul is communicating. They're not together, they're separate. He's speaking of 2 different instances. Go ahead.
Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, which are spiritual, restore such a one. And
now, if you got somebody who's taken up into sin, he say restore him. Go ahead and tell him what fault and restoring, and then start it again from the top.
Fault is paraptoma, that is to fall beside or near something, to lapse or deviation from truth and uprightness, a sin, a misdeed.
A sin, a misdeed.
And then to restore is katartizo or katartizo, that is surrender, to fit, sound, complete. To mend, which has been broken or rent, to repair, to complete.
To render repair. And that's why I got pissed off when that dude told me, oh, we ain't in the business of healing people. I was like, nigga, how? Now, I want you to go to Deuteronomy 32, right, blood? I want you to pick this up in 35. I want you to listen because, you know, at least in a theological space. And praise be to Yahuah that none of y'all in them spaces. Because I promise to you, some of y'all done heard some of these people in these spaces, and you just be like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? In theological space, you're going to get a different conversation. You're going to get a different point of view. Matter of fact, we was having this conversation. I asked y'all this question. Do y'all think it's difficult to go get circumcised? Do you think that's a difficult thing to do? I'm talking about in the literal sense. Do you think it's difficult to go get circumcised? I want to hear y'all points of view on that. Do y'all think it's a difficult thing to go get circumcised as a grown man? Let me throw that in there because that was also mentioned as a grown man. Do you think that's a difficult thing to do? I'll give y'all a second. I know everybody can't readily type depending on what the type of device that you're using. And again, on that programming note, man, y'all willing, we're going to start sometime after 11 o'clock. In the morning, y'all willing on tomorrow. Brother Robert says no. He doesn't believe that's a difficult thing. That was my answer as well. You know what I'm saying? Just for time's sake, because I ain't going to go too well. Shoot, I'm going to go as long as necessary, but you know what I'm talking about. Nevertheless, people look at stuff like, oh, hold on, John say something. Logically, it may be depending on your insurance. May have to wait a while. This nigga here. That nigga here crazy, man. That boy said depending on the insurance, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like, people mention, because the argument is about what's Paul teaching about against circumcision. And I think most people missing the aspect of circumcision in and of itself don't justify you with God. Now, of course, we had individuals in this conversation who are Jewish, so they don't necessarily lean to the New Testament. So they look at what's enumerated in Genesis 17, that if you're not circumcised, you outside of the covenant. But we can also see that Abraham was righteous with Yahuah before he was circumcised. So therefore, the circumcision of your phallus does not denote your righteousness in Shamahim with the Almighty Yahuah of hosts. You know what I'm saying? So what our references is it's easy to talk about being circumcised in your penis. You know what I'm saying? Versus being circumcised in your heart. Because that circumcision of the heart is much more difficult than the circumcision in your member. Because that circumcision in your heart is going to have to cause you to go introspective into the seat of your emotions and no longer be a coward. And when I say be a coward, I mean being afraid of confrontation. That means you have to confront every flaw, every pain, every injury, and you have to look it in the face and swing the sword of the word of Alahym and chop it to pieces. You know what I'm saying? And let it die so that you can be formed new in the image of Yahushua HaMashiach. And that is a very difficult thing to do. Not because the work in and of itself is difficult, but having the desire nevertheless. Let me just say, nevertheless, say Jess and I were having a conversation this morning. So that's exactly what praise people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to stop eating pork. Oh, I keep this. That's not a difficult thing to do. But to deal with that evil eye and that blasphemy and that lasciviousness and that idolatry and that envy and that spitefulness and the idolatries and all manner of unclean abominations that rest in the heart of men, oh, that's difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to deal with something my man's asked me when we was having this conversation. Hold on. Let me get the question pulled up real quick. Like, I just throw it out there, then we'll come back. And that was, what steps can a person take that has past trauma without traumatizing others? You know what I'm saying? And the aspect, man, when you're dealing with, man, that you have issues and those issues begin to bubble up and resonate outwardly towards people who didn't do you any harm, the first thing that I would say that any individual would have to do is, if it's people in your close proximity on a day-to-day basis, you need to be open and honest with them that I have issues. And sometimes certain things can cause me to behave in a certain type of way. And if I begin to behave that way, it's based off of this issue that I'm working through, I haven't fully accomplished. And please don't hold that to my charge, because I don't mean nothing by it. Because if you can be able to do that, then this person can be able to understand, okay, this nigga's having an episode. You know what I'm saying? It's having an episode. I got to be able to talk him down. Some people feel like, I don't want to do that. I have to do that. And that's fine if you feel that way. But if you know that you rock out with that, then you have to have that wherewithal and that grace, if you know what I'm saying, that compassion to walk with that person through that. Now, if that's not the case, and you got to go get that together. However that looks like for each of them. Could be therapy, could be whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, some dudes, ain't nothing really wrong with them. They just, you know what I'm saying? You thinking, oh, he got mental problem. He ain't got no mental problem. He just broke. He gets some money, everything go away. He really act like that because he got no money. And when I say having some money, I ain't even talking about being rich. He just feels unaccomplished. Feels like, you know what I'm saying? He hasn't stringed together a continual rate of success. It's causing him to have a negative self-view of himself. So they'll begin to act out in some deleterious manners at times. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's traumas is different, and everybody handles traumas differently. But again, I'm mentioning all that because Romans 15 tell you that we that are strong ought to support the weak. You know what I'm saying? And not to please ourselves. And what does that go back to? That love does what? Seek not her own. You know what I'm saying? Give me John 13 on the house, man. Verse 17, if you would. And this is under the aspects of what love looks like. I said, I can't remember that fourth S for nothing in the world. But you know, it's service, sanctification, and sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And these are some of the elements that make up love from a godly perspective, mainly the service and sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? See, the love of God was manifested in the personage of Yahuah HaMashiach. See, another aspect of why a lot of people don't understand why Yahuah don't intervene like they feel like he should intervene is because his eyes are too pure to look upon evil, and if he did, all things would be consumed. There would be nobody left, righteous or unrighteous, for that matter. You know what I'm saying? But also, men have to be held to task for the things that they do. Unfortunately, some men have proclivities to wickedness, extreme wickedness, I should add, for that matter. Come on, Solo. Where I got you at?
John 13 and 17.
Come on with it.
If you know these things, happy are you if you do them.
Back up to 14.
If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet.
Back it up to 11. Peace, Brother Joseph.
For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, you are not all clean.
That's John 13 and 11. Come on.
So after he had washed their feet and had taken his garments and was set down again, he said unto them, know you what I have done to you? Mm-hmm. You call me Master and Lord, and you say, well, for so I am.
That's right.
If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet.
You ought to serve each other.
For I've given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. Mm-hmm. Truly, truly, I say unto you, The servant is not greater than his Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Neither he that is sent is greater than he that sent him.
Mm-hmm.
If you know these things, happy are you if you do.
If you understand that just because you the greatest, that you not greater than the people you serve, you'll be blessed. You know what I'm saying? See, now, why? What does that come into account? Because love seeks not our own. You know what I'm saying? Even the older elder shall serve the younger. Literally, Yahuah shall serve us. Read the Matthew 20 and 21. What's 20 and 24? Now, what we're dealing with, whether you realize or not, is just dealing with that aspect of what Paul said love was in 1 Corinthians 13. It seeks not our own. It's selfless. Like we mentioned, we were talking about this last night. And we talked about this before, the love languages. That was a real big thing during the pandemic, and that junk really is an avenue for selfishness. And I told y'all this then, it's cool, but it's also something that if you don't love me like this, then you don't love me, and it'll cause you to cast away godly love because you want to determine that this. Also, when you look at it from a psychological aspect, you can see how it leans into the attachment styles of broken people, if you would. Because I need you to affirm me. But if you're a fully functioning adult, you don't need anybody to affirm you. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine? I'm 45 years old. You think I need words of affirmation from somebody? No, not at this stage of life. Now, if you was with somebody and you was in your early 20s, I could see where that would be necessary. You haven't fully formed who you are yet, more than likely. But at this stage, like of my life personally, yeah, I should know who I am. I'm not talking about somebody encouraging you, because you can be down and anybody can give you words of encouragement. Don't be pedantic. You know what I'm talking about? And not what words of affirmation and words of encouragement are two different things. You know what I'm saying? You want affirmation because you need somebody to tell you something so you can believe in yourself. Because that's what affirmations are for. You really have low self-confidence and low self-belief. So you need somebody to reassure you with words so you can believe in yourself. That's a faulty point of view once you reach a certain age. Now, remember, encouragement literally means to give courage to, because anybody at any time can lose courage. We can see that when Yahuah had a Alahym to strengthen him. So getting in the ability where you get weak, where you need encouragement, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's cool. That's fine. Ain't nothing wrong if you want your old lady. Hey, man, if you got a woman who can't give you no encouragement when you're down, boy, you probably pretty much ain't got you nothing. You know what I'm saying? And if you got it in your mind, it's not my job to encourage no man, you ain't worth nothing. I'm talking about worth absolutely nothing. Because then you should even look at it as, it's not my job to do this for no man. You say you love this person. So the fact that you can say that you love somebody and you can see that they need encouragement and you feel like that's not my job to do it, you just a piss poor trash woman. And I wouldn't care what you say you do. Fundamentally, as a woman, you're worthless. You know what I'm saying? You're absolutely worthless. Because cleaning coochie and chicken don't make you that valuable if you could sit back and look at somebody you say that you love and you see that they having a moment where they need something to encourage them to keep on pushing, and you feel like he a man, he don't need that. That means you fundamentally don't even see him as a human being. You know what I'm saying? You don't even see him as a human being. And I hope you have a son, so when he get older, nobody won't see him as a human being, since that's how you see his daddy. But you couldn't envision, you wouldn't want to envision that for your son, but you could envision that for your husband. I mean, you're a terrible individual as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Just as a woman, just fundamentally, every woman in your bloodline failed you. Because you don't even know the basic principles of being a wife, and that's terrible. And that's not even from no godly point of view. That's just from a natural point of view. Like, what type of junk is that? This nigga ain't no machine. He ain't no superhero. He's flesh and blood. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, man, niggas get down, man. Man, listen, man. You see this in sports all the time. Dudes need encouragement because they might lose their confidence. Niggas hit a slump. They go to doubting themselves. They go to questioning themselves. You know what I'm saying? You'll look at him and think, oh, he ain't no man. You can't even see that this is a human being. Let you go on a losing streak. You'll go to questioning every goddamn thing. I promise you that. You know what I'm talking about? Because we were talking about this also, because I seen the dude say this. And I ended with this here, man, like on this particular topic. A man is expected to bat 100 for 100. And if he makes any mistake, nobody is going to remember the 99 times he was successful, just the one time that he lost. And I've always told you this: if you play Major League Baseball, if you get a hit 3 times out of 10, you are considered to be a Hall of Famer. That means you fail 70% of the time. You know what I'm saying? That means you have a 30% success rate. And in that particular field, you would be considered to be one of the greatest players to ever play if you did this over an extended period of time. But as far as a man is concerned, in this particular society, he has no room for any losses, any mistakes, anything of the sort. You know what I'm saying? And the reality of the situation is, man, you're not going to win all the time, blood. That's not even fathomable that you're going to win all the time. There are people who you see in this world from a natural business perspective that they almost lost everything. And some of them did. And they were able to bounce back. And there's some people who lost everything and never bounced back. But you can't have it in your mind that, oh, he can't, but he failed this one here. Well, goddamn. How many times have you succeeded? You can't open your mouth and talk about the lack of success somebody had. How much success have you had? Because if you ain't never had it, how dare you even fix your mouth to even say something of the sort? You know what I'm saying? Now, I say that because when you get in the word, you have people who will look at you who's never even attempted to serve God and ridicule and mock and say a multitude of things about whatever. And I ain't even talking about your sinning. You know what I'm saying? People just be throwing stuff at you. And I've been mentioning this a lot lately because this has just been laid on my mind to be able to do this thing. You have to understand that you are a human being, and you have to understand your human nature in juxtaposition to the Ruach of Yahuah, so that your human nature doesn't overrule the spirit, and to understand in some instances you have to allow yourself space to be a human being. And that's why we always focus on when he was exceedingly sorrowful unto death. But he said, not my pleasure be done, but your pleasure be done, because he didn't allow his human emotions or feelings or desires or whatever the case may be overrule the spirit and word of his maker. But he still had space to be a human being. Now go ahead, so where you at with it?
Matthew 20 and 24.
Go ahead.
And when the 10 heard, they were moved with indignation against the 2 brethren. But Yahushua called them unto him and said, you know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them.
He said, but it won't be what?
Shall not be so among you, but whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister.
Let him be your what?
Your minister.
Let him be your servant.
Whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant.
Let him be your what?
Let him be your servant.
Now see, that's the aspect of what we dealing with. We dealing with being a servant. So now go to Galatians 6 and 1.
Say, brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, you which are spiritual, restore such a one in the ruach of meekness, considering yourself, lest you also be tempted.
Now listen, this passage is saying, hey, heal an individual who's caught up in a sin, lest you be tried or tested. Go ahead.
Bear you one another's burdens.
Hold on, but do what?
Bear you one another's burdens.
Bear you one another's what?
Burdens.
To fulfill what?
The law of Hamashiach.
Now, when you deal with burdens, that's not talking about sin. That's talking about heaviness. Give me the definition of the word. Burdensome things. This is 2 different things.
That is baros, heaviness, weight, burden, trouble.
So if your brother got trouble, you're supposed to carry that for him. The same way you see Yahushua carrying that stake. The same way you see Yahuwah say, I'll carry you and bear your burdens. Because you'll scream, you want God to carry your burden, but you can't walk with your brother and help him carry his. What kind of junk is that? Read verse 2 again. Because that's what we were talking about. And niggas was pissing me off with the junk they were saying. Because I'm like, God damn, what kind of friends is y'all, blood? What kind of friends is y'all? Hold on. This is what kind of friend niggas is. Come over here to Job. Find this real quick, man. Now, this is what Job said to his homeboy. And we don't want to be in this particular type of situation. Let's look at it, man. Come over here to Job 16:1. Listen to what he say. Matter of fact, hold on. Go to Job 15, right? I just want y'all to see who talking. This is one of Job's friends talking, right? I want to see where I want to start at. Pick it up in 21. I want you to lead into why Job is about to say what he about to say. This is Job chapter 15, verse 21. Come on with it.
A dreadful sound is in his ears, and prosperity of the destroyer shall come upon him.
All right.
He believes not that he shall return out of darkness.
And he is what?
Waited for the sword.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all something else right at the beginning of chapter 15, right? I just want you to hear what he said. Should a wise man utter vain knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind? Shall he reason? Should reasonable talker with speeches where he can do no good? Yet cast off fear and restrain prayer before God. For your mouth utter your iniquity, and your tongue choose the tongue of the crafty. Your own mouth condemn you, and not I. Your own lips testify against you. This is what this man saying to this man. Now go ahead, bro. What verse are you in?
23. Said he wandered abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He know that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid.
He stretch out his what? Oh, as a king.
Ready to the battle.
What else?
For he stretched out his hand against Alahym, strengthened himself against the Almighty.
That's right.
He ran upon him, even on his neck, upon the thick bosses of his bucklers.
Because he what?
Cover his face with his fatness.
And make what?
Collapse of fat on his flanks.
And he dwell in what?
Desolate cities.
In houses.
Which had no man inhabit, which are ready to become heaps.
And he shall not be what?
Rich.
Neither shall his what?
Substance continue.
Neither
shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth.
He shall not what?
Depart out of darkness. The flame shall dry up his branches.
And the breath of his what?
Mouth shall he go away.
Let not him that is what?
Deceived. Trust in vanity.
For what?
Vanity shall be.
Listen, man. Now this son he just said right here, right? He said, man, let not him that is deceived trust in vanity. Because vanity is what he gonna get paid back. See, that go back to what's in 2 Thessalonians. Because you had love for unrighteousness and not a love for the truth, he gives you over to a strong delusion that you should believe a lie. See, when you are deceived, when you deceived and you trust in nothing, you're gonna get rewarded with nothing. Which is why they say, hey man, we did many wonderful works in your name. He gonna say, man, get away from me, man. I never knew you. Because he was talking about that earlier today, man. Like people get the game twisted. Because with me, ain't no gray area. It is or it ain't. You know what I'm saying? And maybe but that's because some of my people was in the army. My daddy was a police officer. They ain't do no gray area. You know what I'm saying? They ain't do no gray area. This is what it is. This is what it ain't. So when you come to the word, man, okay, Flint, Michigan in the spot, man. When you come in the word, man, ain't no gray area, blood. That just is what it is. You understand me? So what do I mean by that? People make the choices and decisions to do what it is that they want to do. And most people are deceived from their own heart, from their own desires. But we try to cloak it in intellectualism and philosophy and scholarship to really cloak the fact of, well, you ain't on that for real, boy. And when I say not on that for real is you don't want to stand on the principles and values of what you're professing. I'm mentioning this because when we was having this conversation, man, niggas really don't care about the people that they are around. I'm not talking about no internet interaction, man. Listen, if all the people who watching this stream live, man, if we was all here in the flesh, man, it ain't gonna be like, oh, hey, man, we rocking with you then till you show yourself to be dishonorable. It ain't gonna be like, oh, we doing this because we in the word, but we all the same. Your struggle is mine. That's how I would rate. Then you look like me. Your parents look like me. Your parents look like my parents. Your people went through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. And the whole knit togetherness that we got in common is Yahuah HaMashiach. And niggas sit around people and you don't fool with them. Now see, it's gonna some people like they love to play the perpetual victim and be like this, that, and the third. Man, nobody got time for that. Everybody do you wrong, my nigga. Everybody. And you expect me to believe that? Because you really a miserable human being? Because life ain't going the way that you want it? or because people don't agree with you or don't kiss your behind, now you like this here? Oh, you a sinner, you this, you that. Man, get the hell on somewhere, man. Ain't nobody entertaining that. Ain't nobody entertaining that. And then you know what they get mad at, Civic? You do, though. You just light-skinned, Jessica. You just light-skinned. You know what I'm saying? And they get mad because you don't want to entertain that. Ain't nobody entertaining that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody entertaining that. Go find something to do. You know what some people like to do? They like to group up with people who don't like you. Now you got, I don't like this nigga party. You know how miserable of a person you got to be to do that? Do you know how miserable of a person that you have to be to sit around and talk about another person? And your mutual bond is because you don't like this person and you're a grown adult doing this. Ma'am, sir, you are a goofy of the goofiest. You understand that? Do you understand that all that energy you investing in that, you could be investing in something constructive to make your life better? And when I say that, once you make your life better, you could be able to go make somebody else's life better. But you invest in energy on talking about another human being. That is pathetic. You know what I'm saying? He said, I always call that Spider-Man Sinister Six complex. My Lord. He said, when they come together for a person, a party they don't like. A lot of people do. I never understood that. That's how you bond over your dislike of another human being. You know, that's what the scribes did with Judas, with the Pharisees, with the chief priests and rulers. They didn't have a bond through Yahuah like they were supposed to because they were the ones who did the service to the people. They had a bond in their envy and hatred for Yahushua. That's wild. As a man, I couldn't even fathom doing that. I couldn't even fathom as a man calling somebody and be like, yeah, man, I don't even like that nigga, bro. You don't like the nigga either. And let's sit around for an hour or two and talk about it. Well, you sit down to pee, boy. And you wipe from the front to the back. You know what I'm talking about? You can't even call yourself a man at that point, man. Because that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But nigga do it every day, though. Come on. Where we at with the blood? 15 and 31. Listen to it again.
Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity shall be his righteousness.
It should be accomplished
before his time.
His branch shall not be
green.
He shall shake off his what?
Unripe grape as the vine.
And shall cast off
his flower as the olive.
Then you getting cut down. Listen, for the congregation
of hypocrites shall be desolate. Fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery.
And they conceive
mischief
and bring forth,
vanity,
and their belly do what? Listen, they conceive mischief, which is what you've seen the scribes and Pharisees do. And then they bring forth nothing. And their belly or their inward parts prepared lies and treachery. Give him deceit by definition right now. You can give him mischief too. Ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Deceit is mere mug. Deceit, treachery.
He told you don't deal treachery. That's but God, man, don't live your life like that.
Mischief is amal, toil, trouble, labor, mischief. And
you know what he said? He hated a heart that devises wicked imaginations. And this is what he said happens. You conceive mischief because you've been deceived. You're deceived because you trust in vanity. So that's what he's going to pay you back with. You're going to get nothing. So when you turn around and you see this man say, depart from me, you work of iniquity. I never knew you. You ain't getting nothing. That man say that you teach for doctrines and the traditions of men. You ain't going to get nothing. Nothing. Say priests conned our ancestors to believe. Yeah, they did. You know what I'm saying? Because we were talking about this earlier, right? When people talk about Paul, because people perceive that Paul was preaching in his own name because of how his letters are used now. But y'all should know that in Acts 28 and 23, what was he doing? He sat them people down and preached Yahushua from them, beginning at Moses and then all the prophets. And he told that when he was, what's the king name? He was accosted, had to go in front of Agrippa. He said, I know you believe the prophets. You know what I'm saying? He went to preaching word to him. But because people want to view this man how they want to view him, they want to believe. This man literally said in the epistle, come to 2 Corinthians 11. No, let me make sure I get the right one, man. And then we'll get to what I want. Huh? Boy, you see that boy from Jacksonville? They said that boy just got drafted, boy. You know who I'm talking about? He ain't fall for that. Nah, Carson back. Carson back. Come over here to no, that ain't what I want. That ain't what I want. It might be chapter 10. That ain't what I want either. Hold on. Second Corinthians 4. I was in the wrong chapter. 2 Corinthians 4:1. My bad. I was all the way off. 2 Corinthians 4:1. Listen to him.
Therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not.
We faint not.
But have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of Alahym
deceitfully. He said that means we renounce all manner of dishonesty and slyness, and we don't use the word deceitfully. Go ahead.
But by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of Alahym.
How we do that?
But if our gospel be hid,
it be hid to them that are what?
That are lost.
See, that's what some people say. He said it's our gospel, it's my gospel. That's just terminology of how people talk. It's not that he's saying that it's actually his good news, because you can read too many places where he gives esteem to who the esteem is due. But let's continue.
In whom the Alahym of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. Lest the light of the esteemed gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of Alahym, should shine unto them.
Go ahead.
For we preach not ourselves.
We preach not what?
Ourselves.
We what?
Not ourselves.
What we preach?
But Hamashiach, Yahushua the Lord, and ourselves, your servants, for Yahushua's sake.
So that man tell you who they preaching, Civic? The Lord. That's who they preaching. You know what I'm saying? So he's not preaching of himself. Because the man already told you, he that seeketh his own esteem, the same is not true. But he that seek the esteem of him that sinneth, the same is true, and there's no unrighteousness in him. Now, the same people who will turn around and tell you got to go with Christ's words ain't going to look at this man's not preaching himself. But I told them, like I've always told y'all, anything you read in the epistle letters, you need to be able to validate out the Old Testament, because that's the foundation of what he's speaking from. And when you understand the testimony of Yahushua from Genesis to Malachi, his epistle letters are easy to understand as a kindergarten or first grade reading book. The stuff is difficult for people to understand because, number one, they don't believe the book. Number two, they don't live the book. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, you're not going to understand what this man is talking about, because it's written for people who believe and obey. Simple as that. And I know people don't like to hear that because they perceive that to be a cop-out, but they don't understand that this is not a scholastic piece of writing. The individual reader, see this book, if you take in the words that are written in this book, it's supposed to turn the reader into the image and likeness of the Almighty Alahym, not an individual who has the ability to dispense scholastic knowledge. Because when this book was formulated, there was no such thing as a scholar as we know it. They didn't exist. I'm talking about as we know it. Not that they say that they were not intelligently well-read people in certain things. I'm talking about a scholar as we know it in this day and time. They didn't exist. So it's a different scenario. Job 16:1. Listen what he about to say. Then Job answered and said,
I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are you all.
He said, miserable what?
Comforters.
Tell him what comforter mean right there, man.
That is nakam, to be sorry, to console oneself.
He say, terrible consolers are you. Now, we read everything in John 15 before that because they didn't want to bear his burden. They didn't want to bear it. The heaviness, and this man lost his family, he lost his wealth, he lost everything he had, and they didn't want to carry that burden. You know what they wanted to do? Accuse. They wanted to accuse him. They didn't have nothing to accuse him for. We've talked about this before, man. Job, friends, is a cautionary tale. Just because you see negative things happening in people's life does not mean they sinning. Just because you see positive things happen to somebody does not mean that they're godly. And if your determination is the outward increasing of material goods or the circumstances of their life as the harbinger of righteousness, that would tell me that you don't know Yahuah Alahym in any shape, form, or fashion. Because that's not how you dictate these things. This man said there were men who walked around destitute and afflicted, living in caves, and the world was not worthy of them. Read it for them, Civic, so they don't think we're making it up. Hebrews 11:33. I'll read the rest of verse 3 in Job 16. Shall vain words have an end? Or what emboldened you that you answer? I also could speak as you do if your soul was in my soul's steed. Listen, he said, I could talk like you talking if you was in my position. I could heap up words against you and shake my head at you, but I would strengthen you with my mouth, and the moving of my lips should assuage your grief. Though I speak, my grief is not assuaged, and though I forbear, what am I ease? Look at what he told him. I could be like you and talk down on you, but instead, I would open my mouth and strengthen you. We're going to hit that right just in a second, there, man. He hit this here, then we'll come back. What I asked you to get, bro?
Hebrews 11:30.
Listen what he said.
Who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword. Out of weakness were made strong.
Out of weakness made what?
Strong.
And he said, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Come on with it.
Wax valiant in fight. Turned to flight the armies of the aliens.
What else?
Women received their dead, raised to life again. Others were tortured, not accepting deliverance.
No deliverance.
That they might obtain a better resurrection.
What else?
Others had trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, yea, moreover, of bonds and imprisonment.
Imprisonment.
They were stoned, they were sawn asunder, were
afflicted,
tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins,
destitute,
afflicted, and tormented, of whom the world was not worthy.
Wasn't worthy.
They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and caves of the earth.
Now, see, if somebody was seeing them, they would say, them people got to be wicked. Why God got them going through that? Whole time, they more righteous than you. This man say the world, well, you ain't even worthy to be in their presence. And this is something that you have to remember sometimes, man. That is something that you can't operate like that. Now come back to Job 16, right? Because Darius got something for verse 2, right? Read verse 1 again. Then Job
answered and said,
what he said?
Heard many such things.
Miserable.
Comforters are you.
Tell him what miserable means. And this aspect of what we read is dealing with the aspect of how love seek not our own. Because this is what Job is communicating to his friends. If they had love, they wouldn't have sought their own. They were trying to find fault with him. And I've always told him, man, if somebody say they're a God and they always on a constant fault-finding mission, they wicked as hell. Because why does your mind even go in that direction that you just looking for sins on people? That's not how Yahuah operate. He never operated like that. He ain't going on no mission. Let me find a sin on the nigga so I can condemn and accuse. Boy, that's the devil's spirit, boy. Now, this does not mean that you excuse or enable ungodly behavior. But boy, God is my witness, boy, you ain't going to look for it. You don't see somebody, you don't look at somebody and be like, oh, he lost his job. He must have been sinning somewhere. I know he was sinning. But you understand how evil you are? And guess what? People do it every day. You ain't never sit back and think, damn, boy, it's just real out here, man. Let me go make sure bro good. Let me see if this sister okay. You know what I'm saying? That don't even enter in our minds. And as Emma put the verse up the other day, that's why he said, because iniquity does abound, the love of many wax cold. Because perversion and distorting of Yahuwah's way abound in the earth. Niggas ain't got no love for nobody. Niggas don't even love themselves. So you ain't gonna love nobody else. Man, there's too many people who handle this word that they don't love themselves. That's why they walk around and want to condemn and eviscerate and excoriate the multitude of people who they come across with it. That's why they weaponize it. These niggas don't love themselves. So they can't love God or you. That's facts, Marvin. That's how a lot of people roll, though. I ain't never looked at nothing. None of y'all done went through and be like, oh, that nigga must have been doing something wicked. Man, listen, man, I've been living a good little while, man. I know stuff just happened. We read that he say some things are just time and chance. Man, some stuff just happen. Sometimes you face a situation, you make a decision, it wasn't the best decision, and stuff don't go the way you thought it would go. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? It happens. Because at the end of the day, when you face with situations, you got a 50-50 chance of hitting it. 50 to the good, 50 to the bad. The difference between a man and a buster is a man will take responsibility when it go bad and just look back and look at it and see what can he learn so he can be better. Because he know it could go bad. Man, a lot of decisions, man, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, depending on the circumstance and you making them and you praying that it work out. Because you know it might not work out. That's why some people are risk averse. You know what I'm saying? That's why some people don't like risk, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not knocking for nobody if you are risk averse. That's why some people don't like that's why some during the pandemic, that's when they had everybody. You need to be an entrepreneur. Some people are like, no, I want my job because they're risk averse, and people mock them for that. Why you want to mock me because I'd rather go for the sure thing? But where's your ambition, man? Shut that junk up. What you talking about? I know my limitations, sir. That's another thing you got to stop letting people thinking because you know your limitations. Nah, man, you got to know who you are. You got to know what you're good at and what you're not good at. You got to know that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't do everything, man. This aspect you feel like, but because I do it, you should do it too. Nigga, they not you. And this is the difference between us and Yahuah, because Yahuah said, I know your frame. So that means not just as man, as a collective, but each individual person, well, he know your frame, boy, he know your makeup. He not finna interact with you like he interact with his son, or like he interacted with Elijah, or like I don't mean the people the names that you know who he interacted with, or how he interacted with David or Solomon. Because you not them. So what they can carry, you can't carry. That's why he say the strong got to support the weak. You ought to bear one another's burdens and fulfill the law of Hamashiach. If that person going through burdens and trouble and heavy times, then nigga help him carry it then. You ever tried to pick up something that was heavy? You ever seen when you say, hey man, help me carry this, and how light it got? Like, damn, this easy to carry now because you couldn't carry it by yourself. It was too much weight. So if we can understand that with moving furniture and things of that nature, then we should be able to understand that with life, man. Sometimes, man, X told you know what I'm saying? Keep it real with me, man. Make life a little easier to deal with. Because, boy, life in itself will break niggas. You ain't even got to have nothing happen to you. You know what I'm saying? As far as what people consider massive trauma, just life by itself can break you, my nigga. And you think we supposed to go through that dolo, but we screaming Christ all the time, Hamashiach all the time, Messiah all the time, Father all the time, Yahuah all the time, God Alahym all the time, and you won't help a nigga move the couch. My God, today. You won't even help him move the couch, man. What kind of junk is that, man? But you gonna sit a nigga in the face and say, praise God. Amen. Yeah, you read that verse the other day? No, man, we talking about effectiveness, man, like in actuality, tangibly done. You got to carry that, man. You know, it'd be sad, man, when there's people be like who in the word, who feel like people who outside the word show more love and compassion than the people who in it. And we screaming commandments all day. But you missing the aspect of the character of the love that this man showed. But come on, man. Give him miserable.
That is all again, toil, trouble, labor, mischief.
You mischievous comforters, man. So it makes me think how Yahuah had to carry his cross and needed help going up the hill. Amen, Emma. Exactly. Even with that burden, there was somebody there to help him carry it, to show the framework. When the burden got too heavy, there was somebody there to help him carry it. Because he was showing you that when the burden get too heavy for you, he going to be the one to help you carry it. Because we read that in Isaiah 46. So then when we look at that as a collective of individuals, we help each other carry that, whatever that might look like. Because it's not a one size fit all, you know what I'm saying? But you help them carry it however that look like for that individual in that moment. Because you act like you got carried away forever. He told you, you know what I'm saying? Pain endure for a night, but joy come in the morning. So, it's not like you got to carry it for 15 years. But we don't be wanting to carry nothing because the only thing we concerned with is this is an inconvenience to me. And that's not the spirit of Christ, nor the mind of God, for that matter. You know what I'm talking about? So we have to pay attention to that, because if we read this verse and it said Alahym is love, and we can't understand that, or when stuff happens, you want to find the worst thing ever about an individual, that's a reflection of you. That's not a reflection of them. And we got to be better. You know what I'm saying? Because that don't be having me heated, man. When I be hearing people, I say, buddy, was like, it's not my job. It's not our job to heal. Oh, go find somebody else to do it. I'd be like, man, listen, man. I remember I was 14 years old, man. The girl I grew up with looked me in the face, man. I don't even know why she felt comfortable enough to even spill out all the things she was dealing with in life. And the only thing I could think of is, I don't know what to say to her. What I'm going to say to her? But she had some real stuff going on, man. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned that when we was having this conversation. I can see the girl face. Nah, man. White girl I knew, man. She was dating this dude. I told you, man, that dude killed her son, man. And I seen her after it happened. I seen it, man. Her soul was empty. I was looking in her eyes. She was alive. It wasn't no life in there. You know what I'm saying? Nigga can't do nothing but sit there with her, man. Ain't even no words. Sometimes you got to realize sometimes it's just to be there. You know what I'm saying? But you know how hard that was, man? Shalom, Sister Rose. For me to go to my cousin's house, man, when her son died, man, ain't no words I could say. Well, she hurting on the inside, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like, for real, for real. Like, hurting on the inside, my nigga. You can't do nothing but be there and hug her, man. Whatever that load, carrying that load is, man, that's what it is. And you can't make it be what you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to somebody and say, I'm going to move your stuff like this. You follow the direction of what you need me to do. That's what you say when you come over there and help them, what you need me to do. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? But come on, man. Verse 2, man. Well, verse 3, I'm sorry.
Shall vain words have an end? What emboldened you that you answer?
He says, tell me what emboldened me. He said, what's giving you the courage to answer me like this? Come on.
That is marats, to be or make sick, to be grievous or painful, to make sick, or to embolden.
Come on, I could.
Speak as you do.
If your soul was in what?
My soul speaks.
I could heap up words. I could make accusations against you.
And shake my head at you.
But I would what?
Strengthen you with my mouth.
And the moving.
Of my lips should assuage your grief.
Tell them what assuage means, man. At least in Hebrew, y'all should know what assuage means in English.
Yes, kasak, to withhold, restrain, hold back, to keep in check.
I take that grief away from you. So when you see Paul say, with one mourn, we're going to mourn together, you can see where he get it from. Go ahead, man.
Though I speak, my grief is not assuaged. Though I forbear, what am I eating?
He say, but now you did what?
Yeah, made me weary.
And made desolate
all my company.
Come on, man. He say, you destroyed me, man. You made me weak and you destroyed me with your accusations, man. But he said, if I was you, I would strengthen you with my mouth. And we know to trust in Yahuah forever, for trust in Yahuah is everlasting strength. And he said, what? The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are ruach and they are life. So guess what? We always mention that verse that death and life is in the power of the tongue. But you know how you just seen them. They were speaking death to this man because when he needed comfort, they destroyed him. They didn't strengthen him with his mouth. See, we like to say that when it mentioned other things instead of actually what he's talking about. Man, if you're speaking life with your tongue, that means you're speaking the word. And if you're speaking the word, you're speaking strength. So if your brother weak, you were strengthening with your mouth, not breaking down. That's retarded. Give me the epistle of James 2:15. That was there put up there in relation to verse 2. I've heard many such things, miserable comforters are you. This is the epistle of James. Hold on. Let me see if we need to go up a couple in comparison. That's what we're going to do, right? Pick it up at verse 3. We work our way down with the contrast. We'll make it verse 1 with the contrast.
My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, the Lord of esteem, with respect to persons.
For if there come under your assembly
a man with a gold ring and goodly apparel,
and there come also a poor man,
and vile raiment,
and you have respect to him,
that wear the gay clothing,
and say unto him,
sit you here in a good place,
and say to the poor,
stand you here, or sit here under my footstool.
Are you not then partial
in yourselves,
and have become judges? Now you know a lot of people do that. Oh, he fresh, he clean, cut dirty, sit in the back so we can't see you. Go ahead, man.
Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not Alahym chosen the poor of this world?
Rich in what?
In faith, heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him.
But you have despised
the poor,
and have not rich men
oppressed you,
and drew you before
the judgment seat.
Do not they blaspheme
that worthy name by the which you are
but
called?
If you fulfill the royal
law according to the scripture,
that you should what?
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Now then you see how that works. Hold on. Now you see how that law works. If you love your neighbor as you love yourself, you carry his burden. Because you would want somebody. See, this is the aspect of mercy. I was talking this with my dog yesterday, man, and we were talking about this. Now, people mess with him because he don't believe in the Bible like that. But fundamentally in his actions towards people, he showed more forth the sacrifice and service that the character of God says an individual will have more than people who profess to be believers and servants of the same God. And niggas don't be realizing that the fruit of your deeds does not show forth that you are the offspring of the God that you're professing. Because he was mentioning on if somebody down bad and I do something for them, I don't feel nothing. But remember I told y'all, man, if you go out and you feed the homeless and you be like, that made me feel good, you did that for yourself. Because you shouldn't feel nothing. And I know that sounds crazy to hear. The reason why you shouldn't feel nothing is because the only thing you should have felt is I was moved with compassion to show mercy on you. Because if I was hungry, I would want somebody to feed me. Or I have been hungry and somebody was merciful enough to feed me. So therefore, I have bowels of compassion. Not that I need to feel good on the inside. I've done this great deed. You did that. That wasn't out of love. That was for your own selfish gain and ego boost. Not because you've seen a man who was hungry and said, well, we got to feed you. What? We got to do this, that, there, and the third. Because that's just what it is. And I don't feel nothing. Because I didn't do this for an emotional response. And it goes back to what we've been talking about as forth is the dopamine release. You want the euphoria of the release of the dopamine, because though you may look at functional drug addicts with disdain, you don't understand that you're a drug addict of a different sort. You're an emotional drug addict. You live off the high that the chemicals in your brain give you. This is why you seek certain behaviors consistently so that you can stay in this state of euphoria. Which is why I've always told you, happiness is fleeting and joy is enduring. That's why I told you the joy of Yahuah is your strength. Because that lasts. Happiness comes and goes. You know what I'm saying? You can be happy for a week and it be gone next week. But joy, no matter whether through tribulation or prosperity, that remains. Because it's rooted in something tangible, it's rooted in a foundation of something that does not change based off of circumstance. You know what I'm saying? See, circumstances change people, man. You know what I'm saying? If I ever feel a positive feeling after them thinking about how that pleases you, and that's fair. And I'm not really referring to that. You know what I'm saying? It's more so I'm referring to what you might hear, especially you hear white folks say this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Mainly because they talk about this stuff in public a lot. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I just felt so great inside to go out here and do this for the homeless or do this for this, that, there, and the third. They were really doing that for themselves. God wasn't their motivation. You know what I'm saying? Or showing compassion and mercy to people wasn't their motivation. They were seeking that dopamine release. You know what I'm saying? And that's a real thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew the chemicals in our brain was serious. But as we began on this foray with dealing with this book, I feel really, really understand the gravity of how really serious those chemical releases are and how they can definitely distort the reality of life in your face based off of the pleasure receptors how their pleasure receptors in your brain receive said chemicals upon their cascading through your nervous system. You know what I'm talking about? And that junk's serious, man. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to show that when he say the heart is deceitful above all things and how he say I'll choose your delusions, that he actually made us in a capacity where biochemically he could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's next level stuff right there, man. You know what I'm talking about? He said that's why it's hard to buy the idea of getting rich to finally help people when people need help now. Yeah, now and when it comes to that, and that's a fair assessment. I'm not knocking it. Some people want to get rich because they really just see money as a tool. It's few and far between, but some people just see it as a tool to be able to accomplish the things that they want to. Because some people genuinely just want to be of service. Now that's a different set of people. That it's not even necessarily like an emotion or a feeling that they after. You have some people who just genuinely, their heart and their spirit is set up to be of service to other people. And then they go about figuring out ways of acquiring resources, connections, whatever the case may be, to where they can be of service to other people. You know what I'm saying? And shoot, that's a beautiful thing. It's because a lot of people don't understand service because most people have only been served and not served. So when you've gone through life thinking that you should be served, serving other people seems just downright contemptible to you. And then you have some people that their heart's not set up like that, that they want to serve in whatever capacity that they can serve in. Wherever that they can add benefit and value to people, that's just what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's not many. That's why I don't knock people. Like you said, like you look at it like, for some people it's a career, but some people become firefighters. Some people become public defenders. Some people join the service. Some people become police officers. You know what I'm saying? That's on the natural set of jobs. Some people get into religious organizations. Some people go into social work and things of this nature because to them, they say, this is how I can be. Some people become teachers. Because to them, they say, hey, this is how I can be of service to the people of my community. And I feel like this fits the skill set that I have because I have a desire to serve. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people like that, honestly. It may not look like it is forth as to everybody in the biblical sense of how it's described, but some people are genuinely motivated by service and they seek to do it. Because that's what love is about. Because if they're seeking to serve, some people volunteer in multiple different things. Some people volunteer just simply to have a notch on their college application. I already know what you say. You're talking about a venture capitalist. You know what I'm saying? And some people volunteer and serve because they just want to serve. Because they're not thinking about themselves, they're thinking about others. And that's the hallmark of what the text say godly love is. That's why he say greater love have no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. That's sacrificial service. But let's continue. Where we at with it? Pistol James. You in verse 9? Come on.
Yeah. So, but if you have respect to persons, you commit sin and are convinced of the law as transgressors.
For whosoever,
shall keep the whole law, and yet offend at one point, he is guilty of all.
For he that said,
do not commit adultery.
Said also,
do not kill.
Now if you
commit no adultery,
yet
if you kill,
you are become
a transgressor of the law.
Now see, some people don't be understanding. He said if you break one, you're guilty of all. Man say, hey man, okay, you don't commit adultery, but you was a murderer though. You still a rebel. That's his point. You still a rebel. Go ahead, man. So speak.
You and so do as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty.
For he shall have
judgment without mercy.
For he that showed
no mercy
and mercy
rejoice against judgment.
What?
Do what profit my brethren.
If though a man
say he have faith and have not works, can face.
If a brother or sister
be naked
and destitute
of daily food,
and one of you say unto them,
depart in shalom, be you warmed and filled.
Notwithstanding,
you give them not those things which are evil to the body, what do it profit?
When you know what he said, what terrible comforters are you? You know what I'm talking about? What terrible comforters are you? But listen, what that man told his friends, he said, man, I could be like you and speak words against you, but instead I'll strengthen you and comfort you. Go back to Galatians 6:2. Because literally what Job is describing is unselfish love and bearing the burden of his brother. This is the epistle to the Galatians, chapter 6, verse 2.
Bear you one another's burdens.
And so fulfill
the law of
And what was the law of Mashiach? See, everybody coming in, the law of Christ, the man told you, I've given you a new commandment that you should love one another. I asked for Deuteronomy 32 and 35 earlier when you read it. After that, you can read John 13 and 30. But tell me what Deuteronomy 32 and 35 is.
To me belong vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time.
Indeed.
For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste.
It made haste,
For
baby.
Yahuah shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants.
That's right.
When he see that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left.
That's right.
He shall say, where are their gods, their rock in whom they trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices.
That's right.
And drink the wine of their drink offering.
Ain't nobody got no
Let
wine.
them rise up and help you.
Let them help you.
See now that even I am he, there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive.
I do what?
I kill and I make alive.
And I
wound and I heal.
That's what we came here for. Remember earlier when dude talking about it, he said, man, I wound and I heal. Because that's what that word meant. It said to heal. He said, I wound and I heal. See, that's all these niggas want to cut, but they don't want to heal. Nobody want to make nobody whole. You looking for God to do it. Let me dog say, we got to work out our own salvation. This ain't work out working out your own salvation, man. What kind of friends are you niggas, man? God damn. Do you know what I'm saying? Because now I'm questioning what type of friends some of these people were before they got in the word. Like, listen, man, sometimes when somebody, man, listen, and I know this just because this is how my people were, man. Sometimes the best thing you can do with somebody is just to sit there and be with them. You ain't even got to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you be feeling like you got to have a conversation with somebody. Man, if they want to talk, they'll talk. Sometimes people just need to know there's somebody there. Because a lot of people, man, when they be going through some things, man, they look up, man, ain't nobody there. Now, I'm going to tell you this one thing, though, that a lot of people be wanting people to do, and I've told y'all this before. We also had this conversation. It's a lot of people out here that I definitely believe are functionally depressed. You know what I'm saying? That they may not have the complete clinical depression, but they definitely walk around here with symptoms of depression, but they're able to function as forth as maintaining their daily life. But man, if you are not trained or taught and recognizing suicidal aspects or depression, you can't expect people to notice and know this stuff. Because you know how some people say, I ain't been myself and nobody noticed. Man, a lot of people not going to notice because they're not trained. They don't know. They're not going to pick up on that. And then people get in a deeper funk because you feel like nobody sees me. Sometimes you just got to open your mouth and tell people what's going on, instead of acting on expecting people to pick up on body language or social cues or nonverbal communication, because everybody don't pick up on that. Some people do, but most people don't. Because when it comes to stuff like that, you really have to be trained to know what you're looking at. Somebody just look at it and be like, oh, they're probably just having a bad day or a bad week. You really going through it though. And we have to really get out of that thought process of, well, ain't nobody checked up on me. Well, you ain't checked up on nobody neither. So how you know they ain't going through some things and you around here got an attitude because ain't nobody came to see about you because you just thinking about you. Basically, effectively, man, if you want comfort, if you want strength, or you want help, you have to reach out for it instead of hoping people pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? Some people may pick up on it. Most people are not. So you got to say something. Now, if people don't come through in the clutch after you done said something, then that's different. You know what I'm saying? But you got to say something. Because ain't nobody going to know. Because, listen, most of y'all married, you got children. You know what I'm saying? People be moved. People not necessarily being rude, like I got my own stuff going on, but we're adults. So you don't really have, unless you're in close proximity to somebody on a regular basis, to pick up on them nonverbal cues. Man, ain't nobody around you enough to pick up on that. Because everybody mind over here, I got to go to work, I got to do this, I got to get these kids, I got to do this, I got to do that. So when you're in a situation and circumstance where you feeling overwhelmed, man or woman, you have to say something. Nobody can be that assuage that grief if you don't say. Now, of course, in Job's situation, some situations, you know, people know you're going through something. If there's an external thing that occurred, you know what I'm saying, that they are aware of, then they know. You know what I'm saying? You know, with the ladies, it's different because you got your husbands. You know what I'm saying? And you want to, you know, you try to lean on your friends, but even still, you have to also, as an individual, know the capacity of the individuals you round. Because just because that's your husband or them your friends doesn't mean that they have the capacity to help with everything. And you can't be offended if your people don't feel like, I don't know if you can handle that. Because, some people get upset. Why you ain't come to me? Then when they would have dropped it in your lap, you mad at them because they came to you because you found out, I can't deal with all that. Can't get offended by it either. Say, what about when you check on people, but they don't check on us? Can't be worried about if they don't check on you. Because if we checking on people simply because you want them to reciprocate that back, then that you didn't do it because you were concerned with their well-being. If you genuinely, if I come see about you, I'm not coming to see about you thinking about, now this is just me personally. I'm not saying you got to think about this. I'm not coming to see about you, worried about if you come to see about me. That wasn't my motivation. If you come see about me, that's cool. But that wasn't my motivation. You see what I'm saying? I came to see about what you got going on, how you faring. And that's fine. If they don't see about you, don't take it personal. Or we can just do this. We can just do this. You can just say something. Hey, man, I be checking up on you, man, and you don't never check up on me, man. And, that kind of hurts my feelings. Or that kind of bothers me sometimes. Or it makes me feel like you don't care about me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to just say that. If that's the case. Because a lot of times, man, we be harboring stuff because you had unspoken issues. You didn't say nothing. Maybe they didn't even realize. Maybe they were so caught up in what they were doing, they didn't even realize, damn, I don't be checking on her. I don't be checking on bro. My bad. Let me do something about that. You got to say something. So that's not why, but I say that what you said, us needing to reach out when we going through it or don't. Yeah, I'm just saying in a period, like, I can't tell you who to reach out to. You can reach out to whoever you feel comfortable with. I'm just saying in general, though, like, if you're going through something, you need to talk to somebody. You need to let somebody know that. Nobody can be able to carry your burden if they don't even know you have a burden that needs to be carried. You know what I'm saying? If nobody knows that you have heaviness or weariness or sadness of some sort to help you be able to lift it, then they can't. You know what I'm saying? That's what I really mean. But on the aspect of, like, you just on the flip side, what you mentioned, if you reach out and people not reaching back, then you have to communicate that. That's a lot of things that we don't do. We want people to just know. This ain't no woman thing either when it comes to that. Men do it too. You just want people to know. You have to communicate that. Like, hey, bro, I'd like it if you called me a little bit more often. Just you know what I'm saying? Tap in with me. Check on me sometime. Don't make you weak. It just make you a human being if this is somebody who you want them to do that. You have to say that. Because we too old to not say that. You know what I'm saying? We too old for that. It ain't no excuse. Ain't nothing that we could come up with. I'm not saying you making it. You just allowing me to. And that's where a lot of people get it twisted at. Because you say, I think the love would naturally incline people. No, that doesn't mean that people have love for you. But what we're doing is we not taking into account what they may have going on. You know what I'm saying? We think, well, if you love me, you should do this. But when you love somebody, you'll take into account, shoot, that nigga might. See, this is the difference why men don't necessarily like to go to their homeboys and tell them what, because nigga, I already know bro dealing with stuff, man. I don't want to add more to his plate. We don't look at it as, oh, bro don't care about me because he ain't hitting us. Shoot, bro might be going through something. So let me tap in with him, make sure how your mentals is, my nigga. You good? You cool? Everything straight? You know what I'm saying? Because nigga know, man, boy, you working, you grinding, you got a wife, you got kids, you got responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? I get it though. And we have to sit back and look at that we're adults now. See, when we were young and you was in your teens, early 20s, and you moving around this, that, there, and the third, that's not different. But when you take on a wife, take on a husband, you start having children, your life dynamic kind of shifts. You know what I'm saying? And now you get caught up in the monotony and the hustle and bustle of everything that goes into that. And you're not necessarily neglecting your friends or your family, but I have to be concerned with the family within the four walls that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? So then when you understand that, man, you might, hey, man, like I said, man, if you wanted somebody, say everybody capacity and communication is a healthy way to show love to people to increase their visibility. Everybody capacity definitely is different. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. And this hollering at people is a way to, hey, man, that around there. That's what I'm saying. We have to communicate that. If it's somebody you want to talk to and you like, hey, bro, man, holler at me, man. You know what I'm saying? I be needing to talk to you, bro. Niggas just have to say that. And I get it when you look at friends, but those are unspoken expectations that we put on people. And we can't put those expectations on people if you haven't saying like, hey, bro, come see about me, man. You know what I'm saying? I be needing niggas to pull up on me, bro. I be needing y'all to come holler at me, man. Hey, be like, hey, sis, boy, I be needing to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Just hit my phone, man. I ain't saying you gotta call me every day. But just holler at me. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta do that. We'll be amazed at how much, you know what I'm saying, unspoken resentment and contention won't even exist when you just say that. Because a lot of stuff when people be going through it is because somebody upset and you ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? So they don't even know. So now they wondering why you acting funny. Now they acting funny and y'all acting funny because really you just wanted this nigga to call you. And we could have avoided all of that by just saying, man, because we feel like that's a sign of weakness. Or we feel like, and that's that thing that in America, if they loved you, they would. You got to get there, and that's bull crap. You know what I'm saying? And that's really a selfish point of view. We don't realize the level of selfishness that we've been taught in this society. You know what I'm saying? Because in that instance, we're only considering ourselves. We're not considering them. Because all I'm worried about is me. You ain't even thought, maybe this nigga ain't called me because he got something going on. Did I even consider that he got something going on? Did I ever consider that she got something going on? I ain't even consider that because I'm caught up in me. And that's when they get into where love don't seek her own because you're not looking at it from just your point of view. But it's a good question because we got to put this type of stuff on the table. You know what I'm saying? But then, of course, this is the aspect of we get stuff twisted out because everybody want everybody to call them, but you're not calling nobody. And you're not calling nobody because they ain't calling me. That's immature as hell. That's childish. That's childish. And we too grown for that. Most of y'all over 30, so there's no excuse for that. You already almost at the half of your life expectancy. We ain't got no time to be playing no game like that, man. You know what I'm talking about? Nevertheless, come on back with the Galatians season 2. But it's fair. But I get it from her point of view because a lot of people hold that point of view. And you know, ladies tend to hold that point of view more often than men. If they wanted to, they would. You know what I'm saying? This, that, there, and the third. Damn, nigga, you maybe understand. Maybe a relative died, and I'm going through it, and I'm isolating myself. Or maybe I went to try something. Maybe I had my money in some stocks, and the stocks went to $1 a share, and I lost every goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm dealing with that. Maybe I'm feeling unaccomplished. You know, it'd be a lot of things. So oftentimes we equate the amount of love someone has to the amount of contact we have. And that is fair. And I know ladies do that a lot. You know what I'm saying? That you can be close to someone and talk to them seldom. And when you do, it's like, because there's an actual connection with that individual that is not built on codependency of communication or proximity. You know what I'm saying? I said the only one that can pull up to my house and vice versa is my family and Jess and her family. But we text and talk all the time. And that's fair. You know, and again, that's coming with everybody's different. But like what Nisha just said, that's something that a lot of ladies hold that point of view, that the amount of love a person has, and that whole time you're equating that contact with love, and this nigga don't even fool with you. You know what I'm talking about? This person don't even fool with you. Because we don't look at the quality of the love that's being, you just look, well, they're showing up, but they don't really fool with you. They really don't even want to talk to you. They're only really talking to you so they can find out what you got going on, so they can have something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? They really don't care genuinely about you as an individual. You know what I'm saying? He said it shows up in marriage a lot. Your expectations aren't your spouses, and you two different people, and with different experiences and views. Yeah, and you have to communicate at that point. Indeed. So yeah, because I always think about what others have going on. I feel like the Lord will put people on my mind to check on them. It's just my stance. And that's fair. And my friends and significant others are my support system. So I can't complain. And I mean, that's fair. I mean, because like I said, everybody different. You know what I'm saying? But mostly just the aspect of, if you're an interconnected body of believers, we have to communicate. Well, I'm going through some things, man. Nobody can be able to help you carry that burden for that love of a Mashiach to be manifest if they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's some burdens that are plain to see. You know what I'm saying? Meaning something external happened. But a lot of stuff, man, don't nobody know what you got going on because ain't nobody around you 24/7. So they don't know what you got going on. They don't know what you're carrying. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. So you have to say something. You say, I already know you don't fool with your family. That's all right. What we got to read to it?
Back in Galatians 6.
Yeah, read verse 2 again.
Say, bear you one another's burdens, so fulfill the law of the Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself.
Mm-hmm.
But let every man prove his own work. Then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone,
and not in another. For every man
shall bear his own burden.
Let him that is taught in the word
communicate unto him that teacheth all good things,
and be not deceived.
Alahym is not mocked, for whatsoever a man sow, that shall he also reap.
Go ahead.
For he that sow to his flesh shall reap the flesh of corruption, but he that sows to the Ruach shall of the Ruach reap life everlasting.
And let us not
be weary in well doing,
for in due season
we shall reap
if we
faint not.
As we therefore have opportunity,
let us do good unto all,
especially
unto them who are of the household of faith.
I would say when you got opportunity to do well to everybody, but even more so to those who are of the family of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And that's carrying that burden. Because everybody be going through some things, man. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you, man, everybody ain't that damn strong. Some people are stronger than others, and some people have the spiritual fortitude to you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, some people look at, I wouldn't do that if that was me. Nigga, they not you. You know what I'm saying? We have to get out of that thought process. They not you, blood. I always knew that, but I remember we were watching, me and Fat Boy were watching this documentary about gangs in LA. I'll never get it with that Crip, man. He was talking about something. The dude was like, well, why people just don't join the gang? And he looked dead in that camera and said, hey, man, everybody ain't that strong. You know what I'm saying? And that's some real talk right there, man. Everybody not that strong, blood. When you get in the word and then you read what he said, the strong ought to support the weak. That's when you go to realize, man, everybody not that strong, bro. And you have to stop thinking that everybody you. Because guess what? You're going to be faced with a situation where somebody stronger than you will be like, I wouldn't deal with that like that. And then you're going to look at them like they crazy. You know what I'm saying? You got to stop expecting that, man. You got to understand some people face situations. Yeah, man, they're going to be nervous about it. Yeah, they might have some anxiety about it. It's normal, man. It's life, man. Life is for real. It's okay to allow them to have that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It don't mean they faith weak. It don't mean that we have to be rigid and cold about it. You know what I'm saying? Allow them the space to have that, man, because shoot, you ain't the one going through it. That's just like as a man, you look at your wife and tell her how she should feel when she get ready to go into labor, especially if it's her first time doing it. She don't know what to expect. She ain't never did this before. And even if she done did it before, nigga, she could still die. You know what I'm saying? So you be like, hey, man, listen, I told you this other day, like, shoot, could Deidre have another baby? Sure. But for me, I'm not finna to risk her life or tempt the Lord and say, let's try it again just in case. Just because I selfishly want another baby. So you'd be like, well, screw her. You know what I'm saying? You know they say it's not safe for them to have X amount of C-sections, but bump that junk. If she dies, she died. What kind of junk is that? Now, I say I love this individual, but I be like, but my desire for a baby is greater than that. So if she died, she died. Nah, bud, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? No, man. I don't want no child that bad, bro. Absolutely. And I've been told y'all that, man. No, absolutely not. Nah, bro, it's not that serious. And, as a man, you don't look at it like that because you ain't the one got to carry it. And you ain't got the one that got to get cut. You ain't the one that got to go through you ain't got to go through none of that. So you're not even considering that. And that's what set Yahuah apart from every other deity on this earth, because it said he became flesh to be able to be a faithful and high priest to his brethren. So whatever pain, suffering, tribulation that an individual done went through, man, he went through it too. So he could be an aid, a help, and a relief, so he could consider that. And we have to make sure that we take on that mind, even for things that we may not directly have an experience from. Let me consider that. Nah, I do love this individual. I'm going to willfully put them in a position where they could fail, because what I want, well, that's not love, boy. What you say? Say a married lady just died in childbirth. You know, it happens a lot more than we tend to believe. We don't really talk about it that much because most of us don't know nobody who died in childbirth, so it don't be real to you. Stuff don't be real to people till it happen to somebody you know. Then it get real to you. Some things ain't got to happen to me. I already know it can happen, and I don't want to roll the dice and take the chance. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. It ain't that serious. Come to Songs of Solomon 5. But that's just me. Shoot, they can do what they want. But I've been told you that. You know, I said that for a quote. She done had 3 C-sections. Man, I'm good. We got a son and a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Muffin damn near wrong. Shoot, it's all baby. Yeah, we good to go. It's not that serious. They say, yeah, gangster rapper E-Money Bag's wife died giving birth. I ain't even know that. I ain't even know he had insurance. One boy gunned him down. You don't know about E-Money Bags, do you? That boy was a gangster. That boy had Jay-Z about ready to go hide somewhere, man. Jay-Z was talking crazy on the radio. E-Money Bags was a real gangster, man. You know what I'm saying? That boy had got himself in a situation with Supreme. And somebody got killed, and then they came back and killed him. Come on, Songs of Solomon 5 and 1. That's what you want, you who are willing, the son and the daughter. Yeah, I'm good, man. We gotta go. She ain't gotta go through all that. It ain't that serious for me. You know what I'm saying?
Say, I'm coming to my garden, my sister, my spouse. I've gathered my myrrh.
I'm coming to my what?
To my garden.
I've gathered my what?
My myrrh with my spice. I've eaten my honeycomb with my honey.
And drunk my what?
My wine with my milk.
Eat, O friends, and what?
Drink abundantly, O beloved.
What verse 1 sound like to y'all? What that verse sound like to you, Sid? What that verse sound like to y'all, man? Read it again, Civic, just so they catch it.
Say, I'm coming to my garden, my sister, my spouse. I've gathered my myrrh with my spice. I've eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I've drunk my wine with my milk. Eat, oh friends, drink abundantly.
Okay, now, Civic, you say this sound like Passover, man. Go ahead and parse that out, man. What verses you got? Can you parse it out line by line, sentence by sentence? Put them to the test. See what he got, y'all. Again, programming note, man. Y'all willing shortly after 11 o'clock tomorrow. Shortly after 11 o'clock, where the stream will go live, man. Shortly after 11 o'clock.
Matthew 26 and 26.
And
then
when he went to pray after Passover, no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. It's not the prayer after. So, all right, y'all, let's listen. I've come into my garden, my sister, my spouse. Let's go to John 18 and 1, Civic. Let's start there. Let's deal with the garden.
When Yahuah had spoken these words, he went forth with his disciples over the brook Kedron, where there was a garden into which he entered and his disciples.
Yeah, where?
There was a garden into which he entered and his disciples.
And what else?
And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place, for Yahuah oftentimes resorted there with his disciples.
Okay, cool. Now I've gathered my myrrh and my spice. So now let's go to Matthew 26 and 14. Now, why are we mentioning this? Because this would take us back to Ezekiel 18 when I seen you in your blood, and I said live, because it's a time of love, and I entered into a covenant with you. Because that's really what that Last Supper, Passover, Seder, whatever anybody want to call it, that was a time of love. Remember, he said he loved his own until the end. You know what I'm talking about? This was a time of love. And this relates back to the selflessness of his love, because love didn't seek his own, because he said, not my will be done, but your will be done. And I didn't come down from heaven to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. And it shows forth how love is kind and patient, because it was slow to wrath, because man was worthy of death, and death was not rendered. And instead, he showed forth mercy and compassion. So this is actually, the framework of what it looked like. I mentioned John 13 and 34. You can read verse 34. Because this is the law of Christ, man, which is really Mark 12 and 28, which is really Deuteronomy 6 and 4, and Leviticus 19 and 18. Because people complicate this. And we were talking about that earlier. If you love God, you're not going to go against his instructions. But the only thing we want to talk about is pork, Sabbaths, and circumcision. If you love the man, you're going to trust the man. If you trust the man, you're going to have hope and expectation in the word that he spoke. How you going to love a nigga you don't trust? I tell you that, well, if you don't trust him, you don't love him. And if you don't respect him, you don't love him. I don't give a damn what you say out your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? You can come with all that rigmarole. You ain't trying to convince me. You're trying to convince yourself. That's what you're telling yourself. I ain't talking about your feelings, man. Man, if you don't trust that person, how could you love them? And I ain't talking about trust that you worry about them going to rub their genitals up against another person. But see, that lack of trust for some, at least with some ladies come into, because you expect this man to bat 1,000. You don't expect him to make any errors, make any mistakes, have any missteps. Now I don't trust him. But you could make 1,000 mistakes, and a nigga still supposed to trust you, though. I'm still supposed to leave space for yours. That's unbalanced, baby. I'm a human being just like you is. Straight up and down. And this ain't even on no man or woman thing. It's just the imbalance of how each party look at the other, because you want to be seen as a human being, but you don't want to see him as one. You got to see him as one too. He ain't no different than you. You know, the only thing different than you is how you are. You're anatomically different. That's it. But fundamentally at the core, everybody the same. And you know what that is? That same is everybody want love, mercy, compassion, and comfort and support. Man or woman, I don't care who he is, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's what you want. That's what everybody want, man. Ain't nobody that goddamn tough. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want. Now, you may not have an emotional need for it like some people look at it, but I want my woman to love me, man. I want her to support me when I need to be supported. You know what I'm saying? If I need comfort, I like that from time to time. I'm a human being, goddammit. Now, I'm not blaming ladies for not seeing men as human beings, because you've been socialized that way. I know some people might think that this is an excuse. It's not an excuse. It just is. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just the reality of the society that we live in. This is why you have such a difficult time in this society with men, women dynamics of them actually loving each other, because one or both parties are not seeing each other as human beings. So you don't even leave space for this person to be a human being. Sometimes dudes don't look at their wife and see her as a human being. You know what I'm saying? Man, she always this and she always that. She can't, goddamn, because she just had a baby. What you expect her to be? Like, what the hell wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you wilding. You don't know what I'm saying? You don't know her for 8 minutes to get, hey, man, hey, she make a mistake, she hard on herself. She's a human being. Some people take failure different than others. Some people can look at it and learn and move past it. And some people dwell on it for weeks, months, hell, even some years. Until we get to fundamentally getting back to seeing each other as that we are fundamentally one of another and see each other as human beings, and most importantly, seeing a Mashiach in each other, the love gonna stay waxing cold. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna never warm up. You ever have some cold food? It sucks unless it's pizza. Cold pizza, cool. I know some of you niggas eat cold chicken. I can't do that. You eat cold chicken? Hell no. That's nasty as hell. Let you come out as in the salad. Come on. John 13:30.
So he then, having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night. Therefore, when he was gone out, Yahuah said, "Now is the Son of Man esteemed, and Alahym is esteemed in him."
That's right.
If Alahym be esteemed in him, Alahym also esteem him in himself.
That's
Shall
right.
straightway esteem him. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. You shall seek me, and as I said unto the Yahudim, where I go, you cannot come.
You can't
so
come.
now I say to you, a new commandment I give unto you.
What's that commandment?
That you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another.
Listen, a lot of individuals look at that when he said that and think he had his own set of laws. But notice he said, what is this new commandment he gave? What did it say?
That you love one another.
As I what?
I love you.
So boom, that's the instruction that he gave, which is different than love your neighbor as you love yourself. Because he said, I want y'all to love each other like I loved you. And how did he love you? He loved you sacrificially. He gave his life for you. And he served you. So he wants us to love each other like that. You know what I'm saying? And loving your neighbor as you love yourself doesn't contain that. Because Paul told you in Romans 13, owe no man nothing but love. Read it for him. Romans 13:8. And then we'll come back to Matthew 26:14. Because a lot of people don't make that distinction. Because he said that to fulfill the law of Hamashiach carried your burdens. Leviticus 19:18 don't tell you to do that. It say love your neighbors, you love yourself. It didn't tell him to carry your burdens. It didn't tell you to serve them. It didn't tell you to sacrifice yourself for them. He telling you this is how they gonna know that you my Taladim that I taught you when you love each other like I loved you. See, that's what a lot of Christians skip over. They just see that part and they don't look at fundamentally what he was expressing. I loved you service. I loved you with sacrifice. I loved you with carrying your burdens and making your pain my pain so you could deal with it a little better. See, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. Come on, sir.
Oh, no man anything but to love one
Oh,
another.
no man nothing but what?
But to love one another.
Why?
For he that love another hath fulfilled the law.
What else?
For this you shall not commit adultery.
And what else?
You shall not kill.
And what else?
You shall not steal.
And what
You
else?
shall not bear false witness.
And what else?
You shall not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying.
And what's that?
Namely, you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Go ahead.
Love work no ill to his neighbor.
Love don't work no ill to nobody.
Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law.
See, that's what people don't want to hear that because, see, they be like, oh, that means you ain't got to keep the law. They so stupid. Man, if you got the love of God in you, why are you going to sin, dummy? Go ahead, man.
And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Out of sleep.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Mm-hmm.
The night is far spent, the day is at hand.
What
Let
else?
us therefore cast off the works of darkness.
Cast that junk off.
Let us put on the armor of light.
Uh-huh.
Let us walk honestly as in the day.
In the daytime. Because you know why they say walk honestly in the day? Because the freaks come out at the freaks come out. You know that song, those. Do people play that for you?
Ain't good for me.
They played it for themselves. The freaks. Look here, man. Everybody come out, man. When the sun go down, that's when everything get wild. Go ahead, man. That's a fact, Marlon.
Say not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envy.
You know how wild you got to be to get drunk in the daytime? You's an alcoholic.
5 o'clock. So.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. You pissy drunk. Sun ain't even down. Go ahead.
But put you on the Lord Yahuah
And make no
provision for the flesh
to obey.
the lust thereof.
Circumcise that heart, man. You know what I'm talking about? Come on back, Psalms of Matthew 26:14. Let's look how he get his myrrh and his spices, man. We could go for the burial, but we're gonna do that because he's still alive.
It's all verse 12.
Verse 12 then.
He said, for in that she poured this ointment on my body, she did it for
Make
my
it
burial.
9 then. You gotta get it from the top.
For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the
Make
poor.
it 7 then.
There came a woman unto
There
him
it is.
having an alabaster box, a very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat.
Very precious.
But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste?
My God,
For
today.
this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor.
Give him to the
When
poor.
Yahuah understood it, he said unto them,
What he said?
why trouble you the woman? For she hath brought a good work upon me.
Good work.
For you have the poor always with you, but
But me,
you have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body,
she anointed me.
for my burial, truly I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached,
There
in the
shall
whole
be.
world, also this that this woman have done, be told for a memorial of her.
She get remembered. It's a lot of niggas mad because she get remembered. You know what I'm saying? You got some, listen, right? Because there's a lot of aspects of where people get into debates and arguments, how women preach and teach and things of this nature. But it was women in the body who did a multitude of different things. But again, everybody just want to preach because they want to be an authority. When I say an authority, not necessarily like authority over people, but they want to be in an authoritative position. They want to be in an authoritative position to make up for certain mental and emotional shortcomings that they have. A lot of people, when people feel powerless, they want to put themselves in an authoritative position to cover up the insecurities and the weaknesses that they actually possess. But there's a multitude of women who this man rep for because the women had a desire to serve. You know what I'm saying? See, I told you before, preaching and teaching the word is nothing but a service. And I know some people are, you just trying to downplay it. It's not to downplay, bro. This is just what it is. It's just a service, bro. Does it make me or anybody who's in that position a great man of any sort? Don't make me no greater than any one of you. It's just a job, bro. Now, when you approach it in that fashion and you see it for what it is, that it's a vocation, and that you be dedicated to this vocation like you dedicated to any other vocation, then you're going to do it with a veracity and a tenacity and a hunger and a passion to get the job done and get it done properly. Not because you're trying to bring esteem to yourself, but because you're trying to maximize every minute, every moment, and every bit of God-given gift that he gives you, that his kingdom is preached and that his name is esteemed and that his people are served. You remember what he told Peter in John 21 before he slid, man? What he told him? He said, hey, man, feed my sheep. That's it. That's the job, my nigga. That's the job. That's it. Your job is to feed the sheep and not to feed yourself, but to feed them. That's why I told her, I don't understand how dudes be like, oh, you need to take a day off. Nigga, what? So you're going to abandon the sheep and let them starve? So you can be sit up with your feet kicked up? Nigga, you was a hireling, nigga. You was a hireling. You know what I'm saying? How does that even make sense? I know how it makes sense because people go to Christian church, the pastor took a week off. He on vacation. You don't take a vacation from the Lord. What you think this is, man? You say prudential? You don't get no PTO time with this, man. That's how people see it, though.
I feed my sheep once a week.
I feed my sheep once a week, and I need time off from that. You only work once a week, boy. 2 to 3 hours of your time, you can't even do that. It's a hard day life we live in, man. Day by day drama. You don't know about that, huh? You ain't listen to the Hot Boys. I'm sorry. Go ahead. We be trying to test civic musical knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether rap or R&B, he don't know nothing. We might have to just sing the blues. He might know that. Now, of course, we know Matthew 26 is where he ate his honeycomb and he drunk his wine. We don't got to read that because y'all already know that. Songs of Solomon 5:2. He say, I sleep,
but my heart wake.
It is the what?
Voice of my beloved that knocks.
Open to me.
My sister,
my love,
my dove,
my undefiled.
For my head is filled with dew, my locks with the drops of the night.
Now go to what that is, man. Revelation 3:20. Let's look at what it say, man. I sleep, but my heart wake. It's the voice of my beloved that knock.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him.
Now, I just read that not on the word match tip, but the fundamental tip. It said a heart wake. It is the voice of my beloved. Now you see him, he say he knock. If you open the door, he'll come in. Now, why is her heart awakened? Because she's waiting to hear the voice of her beloved. That's why I say you should come to the high calling of Yahuah HaMashiach. Some people hear the voice of God and don't open the door. That's why I say if you seek, you shall find. He say knock and it shall be answered. Now he the reverse because he coming and say, I'm coming knocking looking for you. He said, but when I called, none did answer. And when I spake, they did not hear. You know what I'm talking about? And him knocking at the door is when that word go forth. Because now he knocking at the door of your love, at your heart. And he knocking at the door so he can draw you with love and kindness. He trying to give you a love you ain't never had before. But we turn it down because we in love with the world. We in love with the trappings of this society. We in love with our lust. We in love with whatever. But really you think it's love and it's really just evil conspicuous, lust, if you would, just an overwhelming desire for things that work the pleasure centers in your brain. And you've deceived yourself in believing that you love these things, but you just really love the release in your brain. You know what I'm saying? But come on with it, verse 3. I've put off my what?
My coat.
How shall I what?
Put it on.
I've washed my feet.
How shall I defile
Now,
them?
we just read that you need to put on Yahuah HaMashiach and make no provisions for the flesh. We've been reading Romans 6 a lot because we just had a few baptisms. But you know, man, you put off the body of sin and put on the Lord. How you going to put that coat off and then put it back on? How your feet going to get washed and you going to defile them? That's why he say, man, if you've been enlightened with the heavenly gift of the Ruach HaKadosh and you renew yourself to repentance, you put them to an open shame. See, I never really understood, the quote unquote doctrine of once saved, always saved, until I heard dudes debating it last year sometime. And then I understood fundamentally that premise is not incorrect. It's just explained improperly. Because once you receive the Ruach HaKadosh, well, you got that, boy. What does that mean? That means you believed. First you repented, you believe, and you obey. You sealed with the Spirit of God, and he say he that is born of God do not commit sin. He cannot sin because he's born of Alahym, and the fruits of the Spirit against such there is no law. And blessed is the man who trusteth in Yahuah because he never ceased from yielding fruit. How is he going to be damned at this point? Now, some individuals like, well, he could sin. We're not saying that the aspect that it's not tangible that it couldn't happen. It's the aspect they born of the word. They mind and they heart and their spirit is with God. This ain't even a tangible reality for them. And that's hard for people to fathom because niggas not born of God for real. So they can't understand that being born of the word and the love of Hamashiach stopping you. You know what I'm talking about? Because they don't love the man, so the love don't stop them. See, that goes back to what we're talking about, because one of the aspects of love is integrity. Like I told you, if you love your wife, the love for your wife would stop you from doing something improper because you love this person. So if you love Yahushua, he sacrificed his life for me to make an end of sins and to finish the transgression, to make a reconciliation for iniquity so that I could actually go to the seat of reconciliation and not have to come with the blood of bulls and goats, but with the blood of a Mashiach already there being present so that I can be made one with Alahym again. That love I have for him based off the love that he showed to me is going to stop me from committing adultery. It's going to stop me from worshiping idols. It's going to stop me from stealing. It's going to stop me from blaspheming. It's going to stop me from being malicious and contentious and spiteful and anything of the sort that is improper towards the way and will and power of the Almighty Alahym Yahuah of hosts. These niggas don't understand that because you don't love the man. So that's why it don't stop you. Because if you loved him, it would stop you. But we don't even understand that because you don't look at love as a reciprocal, dutiful love that is rooted in service and sacrifice. So that don't even click into our brain. You know what I'm saying? It don't click into our brain because it's not communicated to us to click in our brain. We're not socialized in this capacity. So you're looking for a feeling, a euphoria. That's why when you go in that church, they hit that. They have a nigga like Glover in there, hit them chords, have somebody hitting on them drums, playing this here, so that you can get, and then they know when to increase the tempo, bring it back down. This is all to keep you in an emotional state of euphoria. So that dopamine release is, and now you in the pews running down in there making a fool out of yourself, thinking you having a spiritual experience when really you had a bad piece of dope. That was some bad dopamine you had. Yeah, you tripping in here. You know what I'm saying? You tripping in here. But the Israelites do it different. They come in there, they blow the ram's horn for you. They got the lampstand and they lighting it and they burning incense and they got, let's put on this cultural garb and let's talk Kwam Yasharala, all this other type of stuff. And they got you in an emotional frenzy in a different aspect. So that the same type of thought process can be imparted on you again. And now you acting like a crackhead, a dopamine crackhead, I should say. You literally a dope head. You know what I'm saying? And the dope is yours because it came from you. You didn't have to buy it from nobody. You know what I'm talking about? And we don't see it that way. So you never get, that boy said Kroger brand myrrh. So you never get to understand that tangibly, that this is a love that is rooted in covenantal duty, service, and sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, for real. This is what it was rooted in. This is why even when he wanted the cup to pass, I have a covenant to fulfill. That means I have a duty. I have a responsibility to serve and sacrifice for my wife. You know, we dealt with that a long time ago, man, when we was in something, Daniel. You know, kings were made to serve. We were made to serve. Maliks were made to serve. Something is what it was called. This ain't no new stuff. You know what I'm talking about? This is the fundamental principles of what this stuff is, what this thing is built on. This is what it's built on. And we have to deal with it in that aspect. And then we deal with that and actually perform it, then people will know, oh, those are his disciples without question. Because the evidence will be made plain in the behavior. See, some niggas just worry about stuff on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, go get a life. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas need to go outside and touch grass, man. You know what I'm saying? Interact with people. Because this is just a tool. You know what I'm saying? It's a tool to be able to reach people that, you know, the internet, as you know, whether YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, it's allowed people to be connected to reach people who they wouldn't be able to reach because you don't be able to reach people in your locale. But the fundamental has been and will always be, at least with the word, is human interaction. Now, even if people don't live in the city, we got phones now. Man, you can walk around. Man, you couldn't walk around and be able to call somebody. Say, what if you were baptized in the Catholic Church? I would recommend to do that again. And not because it's the Catholic Church per se, but because you would be baptized in the name of Yahushua, and every time you've seen that, somebody had Yahushua preach to them from Genesis to Malachi. Now, I'm no expert, but I know Mama Steph been in the Catholic Church, but I don't believe from what I know that that's the fundamental of their doctrine of preaching him from Genesis to Malachi. Therefore, you genuinely wouldn't have been baptized in his name. And when I say this, I'm not talking about those who say, you know, I baptized you in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I'm talking about in the aspect of you're getting immersed into his teachings, which is his witness, which is why you would believe to get baptized in the first place. And if you didn't have that information before you got baptized, then I think they just baptized you out of ritualistic deed versus in truth and in deed and in spirit. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. You know what I'm talking about? So come on, Sibo. You say their mind ain't built right, more than likely. And you know, that's fair. Verse 4, man. My beloved put his hands where, Civic?
By the hole of the door.
And my bowels removed. And what Thomas did? Take a stand in his side. Go ahead, man.
I rose up open to my beloved.
And my hands
dropped with myrrh,
and my fingers
with sweet smelling myrrh
upon the handles
of the lock.
I opened
to my beloved.
But my beloved, say when Mary Magdalene came and what he did, he disappeared. Go ahead, man.
It was gone. My soul failed.
He said it was gone. She said, where's my Lord? You did with him. Go ahead.
I sought him, but I could not find him.
I called,
but he gave me no answer.
The watchmen
that went about the city found me.
And they did what?
They smote me.
And they what?
Wounded
me.
And
the keepers
of the walls took away my veil.
Now, obviously, you know that this is the scribes and Pharisees bearing witness to them, that they smote him and wounded me. You know, in Zechariah, he said, these are the wounds that I got in the house of love. Because it said, these are the wounds that I got. What are these wounds in your hand? These are the wounds in the house of my friend. But that's in it says the house of love. The same way that we know it say, there's a love that stick closer than a brother. And read 1 Corinthians 13 and 4. And what does that love entail?
Love suffer long.
So that love was rooted in patience and anger. And what else it covered?
Love envy not.
The man wasn't envious.
Love want not itself.
He didn't lift himself. This man say, I am your Lord and master, and I wash your feet. You ought to wash one another's feet. What else he said? Hey, He said, the servant is not greater than his master. He said, I did not come to be served, but to serve and to make my life a ransom for many. This is literal, real time showing of love lift not up herself. This your king, your judge, and your lawgiver. And he telling you, hey man, I ain't come to be served. I came to serve. Love don't lift itself up. Go ahead, man.
It does not behave itself unseemly.
Don't behave itself improperly. He said, man, which one of you convinced me of a sin? And if not, why you don't believe me? Go ahead.
Seek not her own.
Ain't selfish.
It's not easily provoked.
And where you see this man being easily provoked to wrath. It would have been told you, man, he told you anger rests in the bosom of fools and wrath work not the righteousness of God. So you can't say you got no love in you, and the minute somebody say or do something you don't like, you fly off the handle, or you try to provoke people into wrath. You wicked as hell. You super wicked. I'm talking about you got to put the cape on. You super wicked. One thing for certain, man, that I known in their word, man, that niggas be doing some real deal sour stuff and don't nobody say nothing. Like I've told all y'all this before. If somebody done did something and you know they did it, well, don't come tell me. So you want me to come step down on them about it? No, sir. No, ma'am. We're not doing that. Don't be going piss-pispering, telling other people in the congregation what this person did. If you not going to stand in front of the whole body of believers and say, this person did this, you don't even need to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't even need to talk about it. Because there's another verse where he tell you, he said, open rebuke is better than secret love. And faithful are the wounds of love. Because when they say faithful are the wounds of a friend, that's a hob again. Faithful are the wounds of love. That means these are steps. Read it for him, Sid. Give him faithful by definition. Yeah, I've been told you that. I ain't saying that because somebody did nothing. I'm just mentioning that because of the construct of what we talking about based off of what this verse means. Yeah, don't come tell me nothing about nobody, man, if you ain't going to stand in front of everybody and say they did it. Don't come tell me because I promise to you, I'm not saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't view it verse in, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not finna come to nobody about such and such said you did it. I'm gonna feel like a sucker. Man, I'm not finna do that, man. Not with somebody making no accusation against somebody. If you can make an accusation in private, you can make it in public. And if you ain't got the heart to make it in public, you need to keep that junk to yourself. And the rest of y'all need to start doing that. Be like, man, is you gonna say something about it openly? No, I don't want to hear about it then. I don't want to hear about it. Don't come make no accusation to me about something I didn't see, something I didn't hear. Because that need to be judged if you gonna do it. You need to say that in front of everybody. If you start doing that, niggas will stop doing it. But if you sit there and entertain it, guess what you just gave them license to do? Keep on doing it. Because, boy, I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because I done told y'all this for years. You know what Matthew 18 say. You can deal with it privately. They don't want to hear you get 2-3 witnesses. They don't want to hear them, then you bring them in front of the body. And if it's something that you can't get 2-3 witnesses about, hey, man, you need to just bring them in front of everybody, man. And guess what? I can tell you with a lot of stuff, at this particular juncture, I'm not going to judge it. I'll let somebody else judge it. But yeah, don't come tell me about nothing. That junk used to throw me 10 years ago when people used to, because, you know, I ain't been in, what you come telling, oh, this, they did, I don't want to hear this, man. What you telling me for? What you want me to do? No, I'm not doing none of that. And I don't care what nobody think or say about that. Because you want somebody to control your life and then turn around and talk bad about them because they doing that. I'm not going to overreach my authority. Because that's not my job. And you can't go in the book and show that that's my job. That's not my job. I didn't lay my eyes on that man. I can't render, I wasn't no witness to that. What you want to do is you want to clandestinely use me as your smoke screen for doing something. And I'm not going to do that. Because if you know Civic was, you seen Civic out there selling weed, don't come tell me Civic was out there selling weed. You wait in here and say, hey, I got something I need to say. Civic out there selling weed. I seen it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do. Nah, yeah, man, you know, Civic been out there selling weed, man. I seen it the last 3-4 days. What you telling them for? What that's going to do? How is he going to get any accountability, any correction, any shame for his conduct, and you whispering amongst yourselves about it? Nigga, you grow up. You know what I'm talking about? You got to grow up. Because that's immature as hell, man. You know what I'm saying? It's better to say nothing at all if you ain't going to say nothing. So I notice in general, when you stand up for yourself, sometimes it's taken as hostility, even if there's no hostility present. How to navigate that? Shoot, it just is what it is. You just got to stand up for yourself. Just is what it is. But see, in this instance, I ain't talking about necessarily somebody doing you wrong per se. I'm just saying this aspect of people may see somebody doing something that's improper. I'm talking about on the love is not doesn't behave itself unseemly, and instead of going directly to that individual about it, or depending on what that offense is, bringing it in front of the body. Because that's how they would have dealt with it in the land. They would have took that to the judges. You know what I'm saying? And the judges would have dealt with it. Individuals want to say, well, I'm going to tell the teacher, and then they can go chastise and rebuke this person about something. But I'm not doing that because I'm not a true witness. I didn't see it. So really, you want me to step to somebody about an accusation, and I'm going to be real with you. I'm not stepping to none of y'all about no accusation unless it's like egregious. You know what I'm saying? Like the only thing that I would step to any of y'all about, man, is if you was touching churn. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we probably gonna come holler at you about that. I've already told you ladies what to do if you talking about this man putting his hands on you. You don't need to come call me. You need to call the police. Then you need to call the police. Because there's nothing that I can do to this man. You know what I'm saying? There's no only thing I can do to him is to become physically violent with him. So that means then I'm probably gonna end up going to jail. Or end up being hurt. Because you don't know this nigga have a gun. Now you don't know what this person might have or what they might do. I've always told you that if he putting his hands on you, don't call me till after you call the police. And I don't care what nobody feel about that neither. That man punched you in your mouth. You don't need to call me. He hit me. Did you call 911? No. Well, you need to hang up and call them. That's what you need to call. See, there's a certain type of respect we should have for the institutions of the land. And I agree. And that's one of them. Don't call me, call them. Because he need to go to jail. And even with the touching of the churn, you need to call them people. You know what I'm talking about? Before you call me, you need to call them people. And that be the biggest problem in quote unquote religious organizations. You want to call the teacher, preacher, pastor, leader with certain stuff where you need to be calling the police. That in any other avenue of life, you would have called the police. You know what I'm saying? Call the police. Because I can't lock him up. And I can't there's no investigation that I could do that could render the proper justice other than killing him. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have the authority to be killing nobody. So he need to go to jail and let him get a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that the person did or didn't do it because I wasn't there to witness it. But that's not something you need to call me and we can bring him in front of the congregation. You need to call the police. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting that out there. I don't think any of y'all would do that. You know what I'm saying? As far as participating in that type of conduct. I mean, you're talking about not just the touching of the children, but beating on your old lady. But in reality, yeah, you need to call the police. Yeah, don't call me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you to call the police. That's what I'm going to tell you to do. I'm just letting you know that now. I'm going to tell you to call the police. And any one of you men, if somebody call you with that, that's what you need to tell them. You need to call the police. You need to stop them. Don't tell me the story. Call the police first. Tell them that story. Then once you get done, call me back and you can tell that to me. Now, see, that's how stuff gets swept over the rug and dragged out because you want to hear that. No, call the police and then call me back. You know what I'm saying? After you done sorted all that out. Or I can pull up over there, you know what I'm saying? And I can be there with you when the police come. But you need to call the police. Simple as that. Ain't no way around it. It's cut and dry. Very simple. Call the police. That's the standard. Call the police when it comes to stuff like that. Anything outside of that, man? No. Say for some odd reason, black folks don't even like to call the police. Just sad. Yeah, call them. When it comes to them churn and it comes to a man putting his hands on you, you need to call him. Don't call me, call the police. Call me after you call them. Now, again, if you want me to be there with you after you call them, no, I'll be there with you. But you need to call the police. See, that's mainly in the assemblies where people are discouraged outside, and they do. I don't. It is assemblies and preachers that discourage outside law enforcement contact. I do not. You know what I'm talking about? Call the police and let the legal system deal with that, because that's outside the scope of my purview. I don't have that type. What type of judgment or accountability can I render to a man in that situation? None. I can't do nothing to him. What am I telling him? Get out of the congregation and put him out so he can touch another child? No, call the police. Put him out so he can beat you up again? You still got to live with him. Call the police on this nigga and deal with that properly. And if you want to stay there and keep getting beat on, then don't talk to me about it, because I don't want to hear it, because I done told you what to do. Call the police and leave him. That's not the love of God. They putting their hands on you. Call the police, leave him. Don't bond him out. Let his people deal with that. You know what I'm talking about? Leave him alone. Simple as that. Anything outside of that? Hey, man, you got to bring that in front of, because I'm telling you, bro, I'm not stepping to nobody about no accusation that I did not. If I didn't personally see it myself, I wouldn't care if they had a briefcase full of evidence. They're going to need to open that briefcase full of evidence while you standing right there, because I'm not going to approach you with that, because it's not righteous. You know what I'm saying? It's not righteous. And I really don't want to hear the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to go get this person? At the bare minimum, if you come tell me somebody did something, you better have them with you when they did it. When you do it, you know what I'm talking about? That I can entertain. If that person is there while you're accusing them of something. But if they're not there, I'm not saying nothing to them. And I don't care who don't like it. I'm not saying nothing to them. You're going to have the heart to say that while they standing right there. You don't have to, for me to entertain it. And I recommend that none of you men entertain it either. You know what I'm saying? That's how you keep the rigmarole and the discord and the division out the way, when you don't entertain folly. Because that's folly. Your law don't support that. The law say what? Say we bring him to the judge. That's what it say to do. It didn't say talk about it amongst yourselves. It said take him to the judges and let them make the determination and discern how to rule in the matter. Not sit back and whisper amongst yourselves. He said, I went through that when I was 16. Literally had to fight for my life. Yeah, I don't recommend that. Get out of there. Get out of there. I've always told y'all that. And I'm always going to tell you that. Do not stay with no man who putting his hands on you. Leave and call the police. Call the police and leave. Leave and call the police. I don't care what you do. But get from around them. And if you need to call the police. And again, don't call me. Call the police. What I'm going to do? Stop hitting her. What if you say, nigga, F you, I'm going to hit her again? Now what you want me to do? You want me to throw my life away because you don't want to call the police? Because you feel like, because just like what Mika said, a lot of congregations, they sweep that stuff under the rug. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, we going to deal with the brother. Yeah, I'm going to deal with him all right. I'm going to tell you to deal with him and take him to jail. Because guess what? The powers that be ain't a threat to nobody who do good. If you were doing good, you wouldn't have to worry about going to jail. But you're putting your hands on that woman, so you need to worry about going to jail. Period, point blank. And I don't care who don't agree with it. You don't care about it till it's your daughter, your granddaughter, your niece, your sister. Now you want them to go to jail. No, we shouldn't call Esau and shut your stupid behind up, nigga. You going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, if I see you put your hands on your wife, you going to jail. Because I bet I call the police on you. You know what I'm talking about? Because boy, I ain't in the street. I don't live by none of that. You going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know what we had to set the standard on? Well, man, none of you squarehead niggas put your hands on no woman around here, boy, you going to jail. And I'm going to call them people on you. And I ain't going to tell you, I'm calling the police on you. You're going to see them when they get there. You're going to be looking around, who called them? I did. They go that gray Ford Explorer, said, JSO on the scene. You going to jail, nigga. Straight like that. He said he never whooped me. He went to prison for 10 years for drugs, though. Don't wait for something to happen for him to go to jail. Send him. Because I'm saying this because y'all in the word, it's supposed to be a godly man. How a godly man putting his hands on you and you want him to stay free? The Lord say he ought to go fear. He say, hey, man, fear the sword. Go to jail. That's where you need to be at. Go in there with Nasty Nate. See if he gets your fruit cup. Songs of Solomon, man. Now, when you say the keepers of the wall took away the veil from me, read verse 7 again. I mean that, though, from the depth of my soul, man. Because that's unseemly behavior. And love don't work unseemliness. It's not proper to be hitting your wife. You hit your wife because you don't love yourself.
I'll give you that word for faithful.
Oh, yeah.
That is Aman.
Steadfast. Reliable. You know what I'm saying? That love is steadfast. That's why I say faithful are the wounds of love. Read the verse again, man. Verse 4, man. Proverbs 27.
My beloved put his hand by the hole of the door.
No, I'll say Proverbs 27. Oh. 27 before.
Wrath is cruel, anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy?
Mm-hmm.
Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
Well, we know Judas' kisses were deceitful. We know that he openly rebuked his son. You know what I'm saying? And he said that's better than, and that's why, that's the advent of why I mentioned all that, because of that verse, because he said open rebuke is better than secret love. If there's a rebuke that you got to make, then you need to make it. You know what I'm saying? But he say faithful are the wounds of love, and these are the wounds that I got in the house of love. You know what I'm saying? And now you got a love that's stick closer than a brother, because he said I and you and me, and that if you keep my instructions, I and my Father dwell with me. And that love stick close to you because of service and sacrifice and humility and loving kindness and patience and error. When you in error, that's what love is all about, man. You know what I'm saying? He say love don't even keep no record of wrongdoings. Niggas be you say you love somebody. I remember when you did this and you did that and you did that. But the book tell you that he blot out your transgressions like a thick cloud. God don't keep no record of error. That's the greatness of his love. He don't keep no record of that. If you repented and turned from it, that blotted out. He don't even remember it no more. We don't do that though. You remember every goddamn thing. You remember stuff from 10 years ago. If you love, listen, man, because I'm looking at my phone, and I remember Alicia said it to me one long time ago. She was like, well, you was upset when I told you last time. I don't even be angry long, man. I'm finna be walking around here angry for days, fuck. You could be upset, process that junk, we finna move on. Then when you talking about somebody I care about, man, I'm not finna be walking around here, man, perpetually mad at somebody I care about. You know why? Because there's been times in my lifetime when, boy, one day somebody was here and the next day they were gone. So I'm not going to live like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm younger, y'all young, I'm older than most of y'all. But then some of us, we all the same age. So, you know, you get to a certain point in life, man, and your peers start passing away, you go to look at that, man, that junk ain't that serious, bro. Especially not with people you say you love. Because you never know when it'll be the last time you see them. But like I say, you get caught up in the monotony of life, so you don't be thinking about today could be the last day I see somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's why I told y'all last week, man, that's why I don't care nothing about going to all these places and doing all this stuff, man. As long as I'm with the people that I love and care about, that's all that matters. It don't matter where we at. It don't matter what we doing. Because my love is not bound by location and fun. You know what I'm saying? It's not rooted in that. We could be sitting at a park and it's just as good. We could be sitting on a beach. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got to go walk in that funeral home, man, and look in that casket, man, you're going to wish you could have sat in the living room with a nigga and did nothing. You know what I'm talking about? You could have wished you'd be able to do that. And you'll realize, man, it doesn't matter about where you at and what you're doing. It's about the time that you spend with your people, man. That's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? People don't think about that stuff because you don't really care about your people, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't really care about them. And we gotta stop doing that. Because if we say, I believe in Yahuah, I believe in Jesus, then they need to be representative of how we interact with each other, man. You know what I'm saying? Like all the way around the board. I say, man, you know, Lord willing, he said, is it normal to have to cast down thoughts about what someone else has done wrong? Absolutely it is. Yeah, it's normal. Nothing abnormal about it. You know what I'm saying? He told you that, Paul taught that in 2 Corinthians 10, you know, cast down the things that exalt themselves against Mashiach and bring them into captivity to Mashiach. It's normal. You're a human being. See, the issue is not that you have the thoughts, but how do you respond to them? So if you casting them down, you're responding in a godly fashion. You're actually doing what you're supposed to do. So that means you're on the right track, truth be told. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have thoughts. You know, the flesh is contrary to the spirit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, nigga did something to you. Like, man, I want to punch this nigga in the mouth. Oh, raggedy dog face. No. Let me put that down. Because you can read that in the text where Yahuah was finna wipe out all of Israel. Then he said he repented of the evil that he was going to do. You know what I'm saying? Cast that down. Of course, Moses interceded in that instance, but you get it though. You know what I'm saying? He cast that down and say, you know what? I ain't going to do that. So it's normal. Nothing abnormal about it. And I'm glad that you asked that because it causes me to reiterate this one particular point. Love is not the absence of frustration, anger, or anything of the sort. That's why he say he's long suffering. He's slow to wrath. He's patient in offense. You know what I'm saying? People make it feel like because you in the word that you shouldn't have certain thoughts or this, that, then the third. You're still a human being. You still might want to punch somebody in the face. But you don't punch them in the face because the love of Hamashiach stops you. Or, as you mentioned, you cast those thoughts down. Come on, Sid, because we got to get off here. It's 11 o'clock. I wanted to be done at 10:30, but it didn't work out that way.
Back to Psalm.
Yeah, man. We can read verse 7 again.
The watchman that went about the city found me.
So again, this is about the Pharisees. They found him.
They smote me. They wounded me.
But now we know how they smote and wounded him, obviously.
The keepers of the walls took away my veil.
And then, you know, of course, when he died, the veil in the temple rent. And that will allow me to segue, y'all willing, to what I want to discuss tomorrow, which is the mercy seat. Because once that veil was ripped open in the temple in Matthew 27, by 50 or so, now you can go directly to the mercy seat. The curtain gone. That curtain is gone. Go ahead.
Say, I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem.
If you find my beloved,
if you tell him that
I'm what?
Sick of love.
What else?
What is your beloved more than another beloved?
Oh, you fairest
among women.
What is your beloved
more than another beloved?
That you do.
So charge him.
My beloved is what?
White and ruddy, the chiefest among 10,000.
Tell him what white mean right now, man. Tell me he dazzling.
A sock dazzling, glowing, clear.
You seen he was in a say that's when I was 16. I met my husband at 20. He's never done that to me. Well, praise you, I would hope not. Same time when you wrong someone, you have to stop behaving so sorrowful and work godly repentance. That's a fact. It's a fact, Joseph. And like I said, man, the advent of this book, some of the stuff that we've been looking at word-wise as it relates to the premise of the book. And of course, you know, we've been dealing with this particular topic based off of the conversation in 2 Chronicles 30 when they were looking at it like, oh, Hezekiah was giving the people a license to sin because they were eating the Passover in an unclean state. And it's really just to discuss, you know, the mercy and grace of Yahuah and what that tangibly, practically, and fundamentally looks like. You know what I'm saying? And when we can understand what that looks like, then we can begin to exhibit it. Because in reality, with most of us, we just get told, show the love of Christ. Keep the commandments, but we don't deal with the nuance of actual human interaction that you can actually see in the text of him doing and what that looked like. Even when we was looking at him healing the people, that was doing good. That was showing compassion to people who were afflicted. That's why he said, if you did it unto these, the least of these, my brethren, you did it unto me. Like if it's somebody in the word, man, whether they great in the word, you know what I'm saying? Or least in the word, if you would. And great just means that they have a higher station in the congregation, not that they're greater than the people in the congregation. As far as he's concerned, you did that to him. Every good thing that you show forth to an individual in this body. When I say in this body, I'm not talking about people who were members of Assembly of the Firstborn. I'm talking about any believer, period. Irregardless of where they fellowship at. You did that to the Lord. You don't even fundamentally realize that love you showing is the love you showing to the Son of God, the man who you say you love. Remember how we can read in Luke and say those women minister to him of their substance? You doing that to somebody in the word is the same as because if you wouldn't do it to your brother who in the word now, you wouldn't have did it to the Lord if he was alive when he was walking the earth. Because that means you don't even see him in your brother. Where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about that, man. Like, all the way around the board. That's what I said, man, the conversation we had yesterday, that just pissing me off. The dude last week who was telling me, it's not our job to heal, that junk was pissing me off. Because I'm like, God damn, man. If people who ain't in the word feel like this, how does somebody who in the word stand a chance? But don't nobody care. Now, I'm not talking about you overextending yourself, you know what I'm saying, depending on I'm not talking about that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to show something. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to love to the capacity of love that you have. You know what I'm saying? If not, how we going to get anywhere? We can't get anywhere. We ain't going to get anywhere. And ain't nobody going to believe that Yahushua is our anointed one, because we surely ain't showing that we his Taladim, because this is what he taught y'all. And then people sitting there, well, shoot, I could stay out here where I'm at if I'm going to still get done like I've been getting done. Why I want to come in your house? That's it. It says, just show some compassion, man. Way. You know what I'm saying? It go a long way. And it's a hallmark of who your God is. It's fundamentally who he is at his core, based on what this book says. This is why we always reference Exodus 30 as often as we can, for you to understand that this is who he fundamentally is. That's why we always reference Jeremiah 9, because he said, these are the things that I exercise. These are the things that I take pleasure in. He said he take pleasure in showing chesed. He take pleasure in showing love and kindness. He delight in that. My God, come on, so we get off here.
Beloved is white and ruddy, the chiefest among 10,000. His head has the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a raven.
His eyes
are as the eyes of doves
by the rivers
of water, washed with milk and fitly set.
Mm-hmm.
His cheeks are as a bed of spices, as sweet flowers. His lips like lilies, dropping sweet-smelling myrrh.
Mm-hmm.
His hands are as gold rings set with the beryl. His belly is as bright ivory, overlaid with sapphires. His legs are as pillars of marble, set upon sockets of fine gold. His countenance is as Lebanon,
excellent
as the cedars.
His mouth is what?
Most sweet.
Altogether lovely.
This is my beloved. This is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem.
They say, this is my friend, and you my friends if you do so whatsoever I command you. So this is what I want y'all to do. It's not a lot of information contained in it, but you can go to Exodus 25, right? And you can start at verse 10 if you would, to just look at that ark and that mercy seat. As y'all willing, that's what we're going to touch on tomorrow, man, to lead into that with more aspects of how that relate to 1 Corinthians 13. So hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all at the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. Just remember, man, y'all willing, man, we're going to start sometime after 11 o'clock in the morning. Real church people time. You know what I'm saying? Because, church people start in the morning. We never really started in the morning because we have service at night. So I'd be like, we really used to start at 1 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? See, when the pandemic came, that's when we started starting at 1 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Because you need to be late all the time. Be 110%. Amen, Brother Marcus, man. Love you too, man. Hold it down, man. Peace, Brother Omar. Amen. Shalom, sister. But yeah, man, brother, God willing, man, Pastor gonna open the doors, man, by 11, man. We're gonna try to be there by 10:30, 10:45. So that when he open the doors, we can just flow in and prayerfully be ready to roll by about 11:10, 11:15. You know what I'm saying? And just do that there, man. But I told you, when we in the spot though, yeah, it's gonna be earlier. You know what I'm saying? Schedule had to be shifted because the pastor had something he had to take care of. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's gonna be earlier in the day though. It's definitely gonna be earlier in the day. So be advised to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. So hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Again, I bless y'all the house of Alahym in the name of Yahuah, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep it rocking and rolling, man. And yeah, y'all willing till tomorrow. You who approved me? All right, y'all. I'm out of here.